White goes high, Canadian says A, Mexican goes
Have a nice day.
Arab goes,
Bro.
French goes, and the Asian says,
Oh, hello.
German goes yeah, Wap goes E, and the Jew says oi, oi, oi. But there's one sound that no one knows. What does the black say? What the black say?
Pow, 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 pow. Pow, 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 pow. Pow, 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 pow.
What the black say?
Honky, honky, honky ho. Honky, honky, honky po. Honky, honky. What's hockey?
What the black say?
Smoke, 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 smoke some crack. Smoke, 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 smoke some crack. Smoke, 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 smoke some crack.
What the black say? Big black guy, baggy clothes, flaunting ice and pimping hoes, shiny guns, golden grills. Are you late to pay your bills? Your skin is dark, so beautiful, like the bad side of the force. And if I meet you on the porch, how come are you so good at sports? Is it because you're black, of course? What does the black say?
Chicken now! Chicken now! Fried chicken now!
What the black say?
That's racist!
You know, Rucka Rucka Ali's songs are like not very good, but they have this kind of like manic retardation that reminds me of like exactly how in my head I'll like ruin songs by filling them full of like racism and shit. Just like sometimes I get a song stuck in my head and just make it the most viscerally racist song ever, and it's kind of exactly like how Rucka Rucka Ali does parodies. It's just very crass. You might be wondering why I decided to open my stream. Usually I don't open a stream with stuff like that because, I don't know, it could get me in trouble or whatever the fuck, but at this point I don't care. It's because it has direct relevance. Someone has been arrested in Germany for playing a 15-year-old, that's a really old song, I want to say it's like 10, 15 years old, a 10-plus-year-old Rucka Rucka Ali song. I don't even think anyone even remembers what does the fox say, like the original song, like that's ancient. So it's whenever that came out, Rucka did a parody of it. A German dissident person decided to play this on his stream, and he got in trouble for it. And then the German government sent him. I'll just show you the article actually. His handle is Shlomo Finkelstein, which is he's like a rightist in Germany, but he's also like a Zionist. And so other people on the right started calling him, because he was anonymous, Shlomo Finkelstein, just as like an insult, like, oh, you're Jewish because you support Israel. So he just adopted that, which makes it sound like he's an incredible anti-Semite. But he's actually not, which is part of the conundrum that the arrest poses. He played the Rucka Rucka Ali song on his stream, and despite the song being technically, even under German law, like parody art, which is why the song is available on YouTube in Germany right now, him broadcasting it added a racist context, which got him into trouble. So they sent him an email or a letter in the mail saying that he has to pay like a 600 euro bad word fine, and he can't do it again. And he has to update his address with the Bürgermeister. Because in Europe, I think you have to continually update your address at all times so that the government knows where you're at. So his address was out of date, and that really pissed them off. Like, that's not in Ordnung. You can't do that. You can't not update your address as soon as you move, you fucking loser. So that was the three conditions. However, the Germans, and I assume that this is deliberate because there's no fucking way that the Germans failed to send a letter to the correct address. He said he never got this. So the court has treated it that he has directly like disobeyed the court, and has been held in contempt, and he's like been in jail for a year. I think even just awaiting charges at this point. But they just scooped him up. Oh, you played the Rucka Rucka Ali song, didn't update your address? Well, that 600 euro fine is now life imprisonment because you're what was it, Hasspostings. Deine Hasspostings es sehr schlecht und so deine Liebst ist vorbei. Tut mir sehr leid. It's all over. You're going to jail in Westfalen. Anyways, sucks to be Shlomo Finkelstein, but it also sucks to be German. I don't know which condition is worse for him. Speaking of Germany, they have opened up a way for you to report your own family, taking notes from the Stasi. Germans really, especially German police, they really, really like it if you compare them to the Stasi. If you see Herr Polizei, by any chance, and you say, hey, you kind of remind me of the Stasi, he'll say, oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Happy to know that. What they've done, this is the Bundesministerium des Innern und für Heimat, which I believe is the equivalent of the Home Office. I could be wrong. They opened up a thing for you to report either yourself, you could self-narc, or you can report your family. And it even includes a little phone number. So what you do is you call it up and you say, help! I've been listening to InfoWars and now I'm retarded. What do I do? And then you can ask them you can literally ask the German government to fact check you live as you go. And you say like, well, I believe that the vaccines aren't safe and effective. And they'll go, oh no, mein Gott. It's very, very terrible for you. Here's what you need to know. A, vaccines are safe. B, vaccines are effective. C, the lockdowns were very necessary. And D, the vaccines did help bring the end to the COVID pandemic. And therefore, you're now fact-checked. Happy to help with that, with your conspiratorial thinking. The actual tweet, by the way, says, launch of nationwide contact point advice compass on conspiratorial thinking. Those affected in their environment receive confidential advice online and by telephone on the subject of conspiracy thinking. So basically, they just want to point you in the right direction. You don't think that certain historical events happened the way that we say that they happened? I have some Wikipedia articles for you. I have some websites for you. We'll set you up. And if your family is doing it wrong, well, you can just straight up fucking report them before they become a rash extremisms and they vote for the AfD and bring down society for all of our friends who are minorities in Europe now. Would it be worth it to regime change in Germany? I don't think so. I think that you have to remember in World War II and in World War I, they happened very close to each other. But in World War II alone, 10% of Germany's entire population died, and many civilians died, but that probably is close to 20% of the men in Germany died in World War II. And the people left behind were like those who were not fit for service, and I feel like that has just permanently destroyed Germany as a people. Like whatever German is around now is not the same German that was around in, the days of Otto von Bismarck, who of course was the greatest German to ever live. Yeah, I don't know. Europe as a whole is like weird because it's just a really weird place, especially Western Europeans. Slavs I understand better, but Slavs are Slavs. Slavs are not Western Europeans. Anyways. I think I was going to make a joke that I was going to make about this, but now that I've thought about it, I have no jokes to make. I really love, by the way, I really love Reclaim the Net. They have a Twitter thing, but they also have reclaimthenet.org. I don't know how the fuck, I don't know who they are. I don't know how they make money. I don't know how they stay on top of things, but they're just like the best. I really like their site, their newsletter. Next. Let's see what's going on in the United States, where our stock is healthy and strong, where we have selected the best and brightest from around the world to improve our genetic lineage. See what the government's up to. If you're only listening, that is a video. You've been spared. That is the video of a bunch of congresswomen dancing in front of the Capitol building in the District of Columbia, and it's set to like Super Smash Bros. Melee's song. I'm not familiar with like JRPGs, but I'm almost 100% certain that that is the character selection sound for Super Smash Bros. Melee, which is a 25-year-old game that not many people under the age of 30 will remember. And so they're trying to like compare these to like fighters in Super Smash Bros. Really, really not helping me out in my argument that women are not retarded. They couldn't find a single. The Democrats went around and they asked every person in Congress, "Do you want to do like this video?" And they could not find a single man to supplement this roster. So instead, we have a very diverse cast of minority women and very old women. Whoever the fuck this is, Susie Lee. Nevada's third. How does Nevada have 3 congressional districts? Does it really have that many people? Is this like for the state or for the? It says President of Communities and Schools. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's what the Democrats are up to. Women think it's retarded too. Okay, we'll just we can look, you can say whatever you want about liberal women. They are retarded, but liberal men are also retarded. As we'll get to, as I have an update on my favorite character, my ensemble, the recent addition to my ensemble that I'm a big fan of. He's making quality content for me at the moment. But we have a minor update from a base black man. I was lamenting on Twitter, as I do, that Republicans seem more concerned with getting a accused rapist out of trouble than they are like clearing up DeBanking. But Senator Scott, who is a based black man from, I think, the senator from South Carolina, and he is the chairperson of, or chairman, sorry, I forgot. We're in 2025. We don't use these gender-neutral chairpersons. We go straight back to chairman, because Tim Scott is a man's man. He is the chairman of the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs, which puts him in the correct position to overview the banking and financial censorship by the payment networks. And he has drafted a bill, which is currently in the Senate to be reviewed, and it's called the Firm Act. However, I am let me just say this. I'm happy about this bill, but it is very weak, and it's not what people are expecting. So I want to first kind of delineate. When I use the word debanking, it's a popular term, so I use it, but I want to clarify that banks and payment networks are not the same. Payment networks are kind of like a quasi-financial institution that are not banks, and they are deliberately set up with layers of obfuscation. MasterCard and Visa Card have gone out of their way over decades to try and make it so that they do one job and they make as much fucking money doing that job, but they bear almost no accountability for any of the decisions that they make. So they're not a bank. They're not really a institution, like a financial institution that you would think of, but they do handle money. So, Scott's bill is very short, and it does one thing. It passes legislation, so this is not an executive order, it's a law. It demands that the relevant regulatory bodies of the federal government remove politically exposed, or, let me just find the exact wording here, because it's really short. It will remove reputational risk from all federal oversight agencies in regards to banking regulation. So a bank is not required to consider reputational risk when handling a bank account, which when we talk about this, we're not really talking about people, we're talking about industries. It was a thing for a while that abortion clinics could not get bank accounts because it was reputational risk, and then it became a thing that coal mines and oil fracking companies would not be able to get bank accounts. So a lot of coal mines in the Appalachians and a lot of oil fracking companies in Alaska were having issues getting money and having issues getting bank accounts, specifically because the Democrats passed regulatory oversight that made reputational risk, in particular in regards to climate, a core part of their decision-making strategy against their will. This only removes that requirement. It does not remove the choice that the banks have in considering reputational risk. So that's all it does. Is it a step forward? Yes. Is it a, oh my God, this is the end of DeBanking? No. Not even close, actually. So I would encourage you, and this is something that USIPs would obviously be good for, but I'm still setting that up. We're still waiting on tax shit. We're still waiting on monetization and stuff. But if you want to write your congressman to support or your senator, actually, because it's in the Senate still, it's not in the Congress. But if you want to write your senator and say, if you're bored, if you're itching, this is a good bill to pass. There's no downside to it. It can only help. Oh my God. Sorry, I've not done enough crack to remember the news hamster. Okay, so that's Senator Scott. Next, meanwhile, by the way, so I have reached a threshold on X to get monetization. However, X uses a couple companies, depending on where you're from, to handle your verification and your payouts. And of course, it uses Stripe. So I am soft blocked by Stripe. They will not communicate with me. But if I try to verify an account, my identity through Stripe, they actually reject my identity. It doesn't matter if I use my passport, if I use my driver's license. It doesn't matter what document I'm using to prove my identity and to get payouts. Stripe actually doesn't even reject me. It just refuses to approve me. So I've been waiting for approval on Twitter for months. And that's exactly why the Gumroad is closed, is because Stripe randomly decided to de-verify me, and they will not answer me, and they will not verify my identity anymore. So Elon, in his infinite wisdom, with billions and billions of dollars at his disposal and the ability to do literally whatever he wants, has decided to go with the easiest option possible for monetizing X, and just went with Stripe, which just so happens to be perhaps the most censorious of all payment processors on the internet. Not really that big of a surprise, considering that Elon Musk is the co-founder of PayPal, and if there's anything worse than Stripe, it is fucking PayPal. And one of the things that he did recently was ending the Consumer Protection Bureau, and that had rules regarding payment apps like Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, had rules regarding if those apps were allowed to close accounts. And those are all gone now. So he's paving the way for X Money to operate. The CFBP or PB was staying in the way of X Money starting. So he's got rid of that so that now these Cash Apps can do whatever the fuck they want. So can X Money. And supposedly, that's going to negatively impact the banking. I've never tried. I wonder what happens if I put up like my like Cash App or something. Like, am I gonna get banned? Anyways, so Elon Musk busy making it so that he can make more money while using censorious applications and getting rid of existing debanking regulations. One of those, by the way, that I forgot to mention was that one of those accounts besides Stripe was AU10Tix. I don't know, Authentics. Authentics it's like a terrible pun. Authentics is a verification system that they use. I suppose if you're in specific areas, I'm going to guess Israel, because they're Israeli based. And in this article that doxed BAP from the Daily Dot, I don't really know who BAP is. He seems to be really popular. But in the article, the draft was leaked, allegedly. The author is saying that this is fake. But he says that Authentics, which is the Israeli financial company that X uses for verification, says that Authentics verified his ID. So the allegation is that Elon Musk application, which uses identity verifications outsourced to third parties like Authentics and Stripe, have verified the identity of a dissident right to the Daily Dot. Bronze Age perverts. Sorry, okay, I do recognize that. I just don't recognize the acronym. So that's the allegation, is that, well, based Elon is going out there deregulating banking apps so that they can ban people for his own personal gain and nobody else's. They're also going out and doxing his biggest supporters. see. Don't want to go this way. I need a drink, so I'm going to play a clip. I've watched 30 seconds of this, and it was terrible. Let's watch it. This will probably... They're probably going to fuss if I do this. Is there any way that I can, like... Let's do this, actually. I don't have my spooky vision anymore. Wait. Oh, wait, hold up. I remember how I make things fair use, okay? Okay, just give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, this is it. This is the winner right here. We're going into fair use vision here. We need some help. And we're going to, now we can watch this video. Alcoholic, what the fuck? I remember, there was a Hot Diggity Demon cartoon from like 10 years ago. And it was like a documentary, like a faux documentary about Pinkie Pie the Pony being like a party girl and like having a drug problem. And I feel like the Hollywood execs that wrote this shit saw that Hot Diggity Demon cartoon and was like, oh, that's what inspiration we're going to take for Bubbles for the Powerpuff remake. Look, Shape is Racist remembers this cartoon. Boy dies? Or dude, Mojo Jojo. Okay, if you don't know what cartoon this is, hold up. The original cartoon, the Powerpuff Girls, is like iconic. It was such a great cartoon in the 90s, and it was made by Tara Strong, if I remember correctly. Was it Tara Strong or Lauren Faust? I think it was Lauren Faust. Yeah, Lauren Faust. But Tara Strong and Lauren Faust always worked together. I think Tara Strong was the voice for Twilight, and I don't know, probably was Blossom in the Powerpuff Girls, if I remember correctly. So this is Mojo Jojo. This is like an instantly recognizable cartoon character. It's unlike anything else I can think of. He has, and inside that giant thing is like his brain. So when he gets beat up, the thing shatters and you can just see exposed brain. It's like a really, really interesting design. But they rewrite this for a mainstream audience. Or not for a mainstream audience, but for 2025 or 2023. Sorry, just to clarify, this was leaked, supposedly. And the idea was axed because it was fucking horrible. And they decided to make Mojo Jojo one of the most iconic cartoon characters of all time, especially for people my age, and make him into evil white people, who of course secretly love the brown mixed race girls. The narrator is the same though, but the narrator obviously doesn't give a shit about this project because he sounds completely detached from it. Real? So she's going to go like Hollywood and get raped by Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey Weinstein? Is this actually like the plot of this? Who is this for? This is being developed by Cartoon Network, right? So why the fuck are they like teenagers about to get... They get the fucking lesbian black woman to... Sorry, bitch. Actually, you're blackwashing a cartoon made by white people for white kids. That's fucking disgusting. What a fuck... I hate it. Feels fake as shit. Like, what the fuck is this? It's just so bad and so tilted, and like the trailer is 3 minutes long. It's way too fucking long, and I don't know what the fuck's happening. Like a trailer's supposed to be like a minute long. You're supposed to understand what the fuck is happening. It's the Scream. What's the name of that Scream? It's the Scream that's in like World War Z. Slim Shady uses it in one of his EPs. What's the name of that of the Scream? It's like a Wilhelm scream or some shit, right? That's like they just film the scene and didn't do any audio, and then we're like, we need like a scream. And if you just Google women scream, you get the Wilhelm scream, and it sounds exactly like this. And it's in fucking. That's right, at least. That's nice. Wait. Where's the window they fly out of? There's supposed to be a round window that they fly out of, and this is wrong, actually. So, if anyone is watching this that knows the show, they know the show is like the little girls, and then it's like weird to have them all brown, and then suddenly in like alcohol. Of course, the white girl that they left white is an alcoholic, and she also is talking about boners. I really despise these fucking people. Yeah, Warner Brothers should go fucking bankrupt. Thank you, XQC, for your contributions to the stream. I appreciate it. Always nice to see from my buddy XQC. He's a real lad. On short notice, too. It's not short notice. Chat GPT. Okay, so Microsoft is suing a bunch of formerly anonymous people from 4chan. There was a thing on the that they had set up where they had gotten like commercial access to Microsoft Azure, which is their cloud platform. And they were using the LLMs, which I assume that for the commercial LLMs and for AI generated shit, when you're paying a lot of money for it, they don't censor it. So they kind of had set up like an open access to the for-profit Microsoft machine learning shit. And this, of course, led to a bunch of terrible things, like AI top of the line quality generated like lolicon, probably child pornography, whatever you can imagine. Like, you give 4chan access to top of the line AI for free, they're going to do what 4chan does, what anonymous people do. But that's not what has gotten Microsoft to sue the people that set this up. It is the fact that somebody generated deepfakes of Taylor Swift. That is what they are alleging is the crime, is the tort they're owed damages for, and that's why they're suing. We will come back to the topic of deepfakes in a second. Actually, do I not have that queued up next? I don't. Hold up. See, if I try to search for this, I'm not getting any results. Okay. Here we go. It's called the Take It Down Act. It's passed the Senate, and it's going to pass the House, and it's going to be signed into law. It is a bill which is, in name, is designed to give a DMCA-style workaround to Section 230 that targets platforms where if somebody alleges, and you have to set up a mechanism for takedowns, exactly like the DMCA, that allows people to allege without any evidence that they are the victims of non-consensual intimate imagery on your site, and you have to take down whatever image they say you have to take down without any evidence. So obviously that's going to be a fucking nightmare. I'm going to have to really dig into it and try to figure out what the fuck it is, because Donald Trump is already saying that he's going to use this. It's basically just a golden ticket for anybody, anywhere in the entire world to censor whatever they don't like by saying that it's an NDII, basically. So there you go. I don't know if you want to write your congressman. I think it's in the House now. So it's not the Senate. Senate already passed it. If you want to write your House and say that this is fucking retarded, go for it, so that you don't support more bullshit like this. Or at least that they should go through due process. Like, someone should have to sue somebody and then get a declaratory judgment that that image is them and that it should be taken down. But this upfront bullshit is exactly the DMCA that always assumes guilt, always assumes that the use is not fair, puts the onus on the people hosting it, and it creates dire consequences for not just staying on the safe side and taking down fucking everything that people complain about. And there's no like retaliation to it. So this is where Trump's interests are. This is a very comprehensive act that has sweeping changes for the entire internet. They could have written and said an anti-debanking law that gives people access to credit card processors. Instead, Donald Trump personally said he intends to use this law immediately after it's signed to take down deepfakes of him. So this is what he's concerned with. Debanking is not a top priority. This is actually. It's his wife. He already says that he wants to do it himself. So thank you, Mr. Trump, for putting your priorities straight. What we need is more censorship and not more banking access. Okay, next. It is hot in here. Give me a second. Yeah, fell for it again. I don't know. I didn't vote, so you can't blame me. I didn't vote for this shit. I don't fucking vote. You retarded. Next. Slight slop update. This is tranny Emilia Perez, who was nominated for 497 Oscars, last Oscars. However, immediately after he was nominated, it turned out that he was like a horrific, like, pro-Trump racist or whatever, which caused Hollywood to shit itself. However, they did find it in their hearts to give Mr. Perez Best Supporting Actress. So 3 real women lost an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress because, and 1 woman lost a nomination because they had to give the title Best Supporting Actress to a tranny. There you go. Finnster, one of my favorites in my ensemble. I always like it when bad things happens to Finnster, because if you don't know, he's one of those people supporting the Rainbow Underground Railroad of making sure that everyone gets as much HRT as humanly fucking possible, including kids. And he was denied entry into the United States. However, there is some contention over this. He posted this publicly as like a woe is me stunt. Like, oh no, I'm being discriminated against because I'm so heckin' twans. There are 2 lines of thought about why Finnster was denied entry into the United States. The more interesting one is that the visa process in the U.S. specifically asks if you've ever been involved in any kind of sex work or prostitution. Finnster has an OnlyFans, therefore he's a prostitute. So it is possible that he was denied entry for that. However, it does appear that the other question on the visa application might be more pertinent. Have you ever overstayed a visa before? Finnster went into the U.S. prior to try and work. And I want to say that he got a 6-month visa and did not secure a necessary tie down to stay in the country, but did overstay his visa, from what I was told. So it's a toss-up on if he was denied for being a prostitute or denied for being overdue on a visa in the past, or some combination. Maybe you need both, like 2 strikes against you on the application to get denied. Don't know how that works, but not a troon. He identifies by any pronouns and dresses up as a woman, so you can go fuck yourself. Why not both? Why not both? Maybe it is both. He's British, that's reason enough. So true, King. I didn't even slot this up, but there was like, the King of England had invited a bunch of fucking Mohammedans to like do their Ramadan shit. I hate Muslims so much. Yeah, their entire culture and civilization is like nauseating to me. And when I see the white people like suck ass to Muslims, I'm just like, that is the most, it's like the same kind of nausea that you get from watching certain other unnatural couplings chat. Sometimes you see that and you're just like, ew. But then sometimes you see a white person standing for Muslims and you're just like, ew, bro, that's fucking gross. Anyways. Here we have a video from an old standby. This is Shotty, Sagittarius Shotty, to be specific, to be formal and complete. Sagittarius Shotty still hoeing, fucking around with young black men in Canada, and she has a riveting story to tell us. It's a couple minutes. I'm gonna let this play out. It's about 7 minutes from here, I want to say, but maybe I'll do it at time and a quarter, so that it's still understandable at 2x if you listen at 2x. And then, yeah, let's just check it out. She's on a date with a guy. She goes over to his place. She just got her lips filled with silicone or whatever. And so she's not willing to go. This is the story. She's dating this black guy, goes to his apartment. So she's in an apartment complex. She just had her lips did, so she doesn't want to give any blowjobs. The guy is really angry that that she won't give him a blowjob. And then this confrontation happens.
Couch is like in the middle of the living room. So I got up from the couch. I tried to leave and I had tried to like turn this way and the door was like over here. He got up, he started blocking me. Okay, boom. So he starts blocking me. I'm like, I'm going home, like, let me go. He said no. He's like, you're not going anywhere. Then he starts mouthing.
Oh, I forget. The triggering incident was after this guy said he had a surprise for her. They fool around. he gets upset that she won't perform certain sex acts on him. And then she says, wait, let me let this play, and then if no, I don't think it's disclosed. She had done a dating vlog, and she had filmed a video talking about her sexual encounter with him prior, and he found this video of her talking about hooking up with him, and he said that he had reported her YouTube channel and wanted her to take it down and delete all the videos, and he wanted like an apology from her, and she wouldn't give it.
Off about my video, talking about how I've been talking about him, about how he's going to call the cops on me, about how what I did was illegal, about how he's reached out to YouTube to get my channel taken down. And they asked him for like evidence or whatever, and that all that stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to think here. So give me a second, guys. Like kind of off the bat, what the fuck happened? He was being really aggressive, you know, taking a really aggressive tone with me. I started to get really scared. Oh yeah, he kept asking to see my phone, telling me to take down the video, saying he contacted YouTube, being very aggressive, yelling at me, still blocking me from leaving. He was really, like, I already said he was being really aggressive. He was like, you do YouTube for validation because you're a disgusting fat slut, you're dirty, da 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 da. Just saying how disgusting I am, like hard to look at. I started to scream for help because I, at that point, realized he was not letting me leave. Any attempt that I made to try to leave, he would block me off. He is like 6'1", 6'2". He's not necessarily the easiest person to just shove aside and get away from. Anyways, he kept telling me to remove the video and any videos that I had in my phone of him. I took out my phone and yeah, but I took out my phone, I deleted the video. That literally still was not good enough for him. He was still telling me, like, let me see your phone. He kept trying to get me to give him his phone and show him videos that I had in my camera roll and make sure that all those were deleted, etc. I'm not exactly sure at what point I started to scream for help, but I do recall screaming for help quite a few times. Like, he was looking, like, really scary. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I was really scared. I always, like, you know, I've always thought about these situations and how, like, oh, like, yeah, if this ever happens, like, I'm gonna do this, this, and this. In the moment, I just froze the fuck up. Like, all I could think about is just trying to stay, like, calm, trying to, like, listen to what he was saying by, you know, deleting the video, everything like that. I didn't try to fight back or anything. I felt that if I did try to fight back or anything, the more aggressive he would get and the more angry he would get and the more violent. Well, he didn't get violent at this point yet, but I felt like he was going to get violent if I got violent. If I tried to fight him off or anything, that would just make him more mad. It would escalate the situation, so I just tried to stay calm in the moment. But yeah, so after I had deleted the video, he kept trying to see my phone to see if I had more videos of him that needed to be deleted. I told him no repeatedly. I knew I was in danger and I wouldn't have time to go to my phone to call 911. I was on this phone. He kept trying to get to my phone. I basically had to, like, go like this, basically. The only thing I could really think of is I went in and I just clicked, you know, whoever was here, and I called them. So I called my friend and I was screaming for help and I said, call 911. And he then proceeded.
I forget to call this out when I heard it. Ah, fuck. Oh no. What was I at? Someone give me a timestamp. What she did is she called out. She was screaming for help in an apartment complex, and nobody came to her aid. And is that 4029? Thank you. So imagine where in this guy in Toronto, I think it's Toronto, where she lives. She visits this young African Canadian man's home, and she's able to scream for help, and nobody calls the police. So it's not like it's the house where there's nobody in earshot. It's like because nobody owns a house in Canada anymore. They live in commie blocks. So she's in like a commie blocks, and nobody cares. So she basically could have been killed, and nobody would have contacted authorities to assist her. So since I terminated the video, I will summarize in short. I don't know in full that she was like pinned to the ground. He choked her out. He eventually let her go. She left behind her jacket with her apartment keys. He tried to unlock her phone with her face, but she says that when she wears makeup, her face is literally unrecognizable to a machine, so it doesn't open when she's in full makeup using Face ID. She went to the police and gave a statement, and then one of her friends picked her up and dropped her off at her apartment, and she had to tell the police that or the apartment complex not to let him in, which I'm pretty sure is like the second or third person that she's had to tell her, because I've heard a similar story before where somebody was getting weird, and would come to her apartment unsolicited. So she had to ask that he be. So I'm sure their apartment complex loves her. But she felt like she was going to be killed. So the adventures of dating African Canadians. I don't know what it is about Canadians are so fucking violent, bro. It's really scary. You never know when a Canadian might just snap at you and start wringing your fucking neck until you're dead. Well, not really cool. It's kind of mean, but that's the Shotty, Sagittarius Shotty update. She ain't got a neck. Well, that's what protected her. That's why she's alive. Count your blessings. Okay. Next. Chantel got bit by a cat. I haven't watched this yet. I actually bookmarked this and didn't open the video. Let's see. I want to see Chantel getting bit by a cat. Okay, so this cat bit her. Oh, sorry. So what she does, she lives in Kuwait. So she goes around in Kuwait City, and there's tons of stray cats there because if you've never been to a poor country or like a non-white country, they do absolutely zero animal control. So you get like stray dogs, stray cows, tons of stray cats all over the fucking place. And Chantel has never learned to not feed a stray animal. So she goes around and she just like randomly pets and feeds stray cats in Kuwait City. And this one clawed the fuck out of her midstream. So happy Ramadan, bish, motherfucker. Oh, and this is Kid Bandits. This guy, Rudolph, posted this in my threads very specifically to torture you guys. So let's see what's going on. This is like 3 minutes of tranny music, from my understanding. I hope it's good. Let's check it out.
Spent 3 whole years of me thinking about you every day, sometimes for hours, sometimes
not very good so far, chat.
Slave from the bottom of the staircase, stood out for hours as you complain about how you haven't seen your friends yet, how you're too drunk to stand, and you not knowing if you could love him forever. Bullshit, you fucking miss me. There I say, talk to you in a few months. Sitting drunk on the sidewalk, I guess I'll get up, I guess I'll go for a walk. Brush my shoes against the pavement. I said, this has gotta be the 100th time I've thought of you tonight. You were the only one who thought of us that way. I spent
It's so beautiful, Chad. How aren't you moved to tears?
wide awake. I never thought that I would see the day where I just let you go, let you walk away. Where I let you walk away. Used to call you a crook, call you a bandit. There ain't no other.
Oh my god, this is terrible. Oh man. It's like if I tried to sing a song.
So I was wishing that you would stop pretending. Remember all those countless nights where I told you I love you. To never forget get it. Oh, just forget it. We were the only one who thought of us that way.
He's getting into it, chat.
Most nights awake, wide awake. I never thought that I would see the day where I just let you go, let you walk away. Go ahead and walk away.
Bravo, bravissimo. Well, what a lovely tune. There's a second one. Should we watch the second one? I'm kind of feeling it, chat. I'm kind of feeling it.
Dogs and handshakes, alright.
Oh hell yeah! Now we have a trans woman with masculine features cooperating. So I'm sitting in the ring is the name of this one. This is only 45 seconds, chat. You're just gonna have to deal with it.
I'm sitting in the rain, and they're on the top rope, and my two
Depicted Sagittarius Shotty's neighbors. In the background, you can hear, "Help! Help! Wait. Help! I'm being choked by a Canadian African. Help! Help!" Help! I'm being forced to watch cringe on that of the internet. Beautiful. I just love seeing young people putting their heart and soul into their art, chat. Into their art. Okay. Now for less vitalizing topic. Liz Fong Jones has declared victory in the Australian case, and I feel what I should do to handle this is read you what he is parading around as a victory, and then explain how we got here. You ready? So this is the signed statement by Vinny, my good friend, old friend. He says, in 2017 2018, Vincent Jen and Flow Chemical Pty Ltd. worked together with Mr. Joshua Moon to obtain IP blocks from Apnic. Some of the statements made to Apnic by Mr. Moon may have misled Apnic. Therefore, the IP blocks were used by Mr. Moon to publish, among other things, the Kiwi Farms website, including defamatory comments concerning Liz Fong Jones, the defamatory thread. In April 2023, Fong Jones alleged that Mr. Zen and Flow Chemical were publishers of the defamatory thread under Australian defamation law and obtained a freezing order from the Supreme Court over Flow Chemical's assets, including the IP blocks. That is true. Shortly afterwards, she commenced defamation proceedings in the Supreme Court of Victoria, which is not the appropriate venue because Vinny and the company were in Brisbane, but of course he didn't respond to this, so we didn't get to bring this up. For defamation, alleging that they were publishers of the defamatory thread. In October 2023, after Mr. Zhen and Flow Chemical failed to engage in the court awarded Fong Jones $445,000 Australian in damages. In late 2024, that judgment was set aside on the basis that Mr. Zhen and Flow Chemical wished to raise legal defenses to the claim, which did not include any defense alleging the defamatory meanings were true, on the condition they pay into the court the sum of $128,000 Australian for Fong Jones' wasted cost. The parties' legal positions were set out in submission, and other documents were filed with the court. In early 2025, Fong Jones, Mr. Zen, and Flow Chemical participated in a judicial mediation. At that mediation, they agreed to settle Fong Jones' defamation claims. The terms in the settlement are confidential, say that the parties acknowledge that the settlement involved the payment of sum of money to the defendants of Miss Fong Jones, as well as the provision of some documents relating to the issues in the proceedings and undertakings. Jen regrets to have assisted Mr. Moon in the ways which enabled the broader publication of the defamatory thread. He does not support the publication of the defamatory thread or any related art attacks on Fong Jones, and regrets that the harm these publications have caused her. Signed, Vincent Jen, my best friend of 13 years. So, here's what happened. To the best of my knowledge, I am not a party to this, and the Kiwi Farms was not a party to this, despite everything about this case involving the Kiwi Farms, posters on the Kiwi Farms, companies that I own, and myself as a person. I was not a party to this. And I was not a party to this because Liz Fong Jones alleged, under penalty of perjury in the courts of Australia, that I was unserviceable, that I was running a rogue operation in a way that could not be judicially remedied in any other country. Fong Jones is a citizen of the United States of America. My companies are all citizens of the United States of America. And at the time that this lawsuit was filed in Australia, you could go down to the bottom of any page, click the Contact Us link, and find one of a few addresses that belong to Matthew Hardin, who is effectively our general counsel. At no point ever in history did Liz Fong Jones attempt to sue me, to sue my company, to even contact me to inquire about material that they allege was defamatory. In no way, shape, or form was Vincent Gin or Flow Chemical the closest possible entity to the ongoing allegedly defamatory thread. And Fong Jones knows this and knows that if he had filed a defamation lawsuit or any other kind of tort in the United States, he would have lost immediately, which is why he venue shopped and went to Australia. If Vinny had listened to me and responded promptly to this litigation, he would have won completely and totally on the merits. Instead, he allowed it to go to default, where $500,000 Australian was placed against him, and a significant portion, in 5 figures, of the crowdfunded money went to overturning this default. Many of the things that he raised, and it's true, none of the defenses involve the actual merits of the alleged defamatory content. But many of the merits raised would have been regarding jurisdiction, the rights of a publisher, immunities related to the distance, the fact that he never tried to service me, very technical and important things that should have been raised immediately. The merits of this were overheard, were accepted, and effectively paved the way for Vinny to win the entire lawsuit. However, Liz Fong Jones is a multi-millionaire financed by Google and other tech companies such as Honeycomb and Tall Poppy, which he's an investor of. And so he had basically unlimited resources to throw at this litigation. The result was that Vinny went bankrupt. He filed for bankruptcy, I think, in 2023, and he ran out of money. I told Vinny at some point that I had funded the... I was dealing with legal issues in the United States in regards to Greer, and my attorney had told me not to spend any more of the trust on the Australia case because it was not an issue. Really, I mean, that's what it comes down to, is that I'm not a party to it. I'm not liable to any of the decisions that it makes in regards to the Kiwi Farms, and there's no reason, really, for me to be paying for this, except for one very good reason, and I got what I wanted, effectively, is that in this, there's absolutely nothing. There is no court order that says that the Kiwi Farms is defamatory. It is instead an apology from Vinny, which means absolutely fucking nothing, because Vinny has lost basically everything as a result of him not answering the litigation as I had advised him multiple times over months. He owned management rights to properties, which he, I believe, took liens out against to pay for litigation. And in regards to the IP addresses, the sum of money, if I had to guess what happened, is that a 24 block of an IP range is approximately $10,000 US. So if I had to guess, I would say that what happened is that Vinny agreed to sell the IPv4 range either on an auction house or directly to Liz Fong Jones for 10,000, 11,000 USD, which would be about 15, 16, 17,000 Australian. And that wouldn't even come close to covering any of the fucking money that Liz Fong Jones spent on this, trying to bankrupt a random person. But it is such a obvious display of pure evil. Like, Liz Fong Jones's original birth name, the name that his father gave him, his little baby boy, was the last name Jin. So this is Jin v. Jin, basically, and it is effectively Liz Fong Jones suing a cousin from China. Like, they're related to each other, and not too distantly. But Vinny at some point played Dota with me and started up a company that had IP addresses that we were going to develop together, and that never happened because of various issues that took precedent from both of us. We just went in different ways on this. And I ended up making use of the IP addresses over years, not even for years, for brief periods of time. Sorry. So it was never a critical asset. And that was one of the things that was also, this is also the merits of the case, is that I'm aware that they argued, because I had to give testimony in regards to how IP addresses work. And I explained that this is not a crucial element to the Kiwi Farms. We haven't used these IP addresses, but for a couple months out of the years that Liz Fong Jones, 7 years that Liz Fong Jones has been trying to deplatform us. And we used them very briefly with like a couple different hosts. So they were not essential to the publication of the Kiwi Farms, as evidenced by the fact that I'm reading this on the Kiwi Farms. By the way, this is how I found out about the settlement. I was not told. I have a feeling that there's a certain level of embarrassment involved in this, so I was not clued in on this proceeding. But it's not what I wanted. Obviously, I would have preferred that Vinny be completely vindicated because he did no wrongdoing, and that he would have received restitution to the point where his life would have been restored. Liz Fong Jones did not get what he wanted, because what Elliot wanted was to get a declamatory judgment that the Kiwi Farms is defamatory, and therefore proposes a risk to all hosting providers, which is not what he got. He got instead an apology from an unrelated third party who he just sued mindlessly for the sake of suing somebody. And really, I think the majority of this, at some point during the proceedings, it's very likely that Liz Fong Jones realized that Vinny didn't actually know anything. He was not like a partner in crime. He didn't know anything about the Kiwi Farms, never posted on it, like had a vague awareness that I ran a website that was very controversial because of Christchurch. That's basically it. And at some point, I think when Elliot realized that he had completely wasted his time and money to bankrupt some random chink in fucking Australia, he decided instead that he would make this very personal and try to like deprive me of somebody that I knew as a friend, which was effective. But what I don't think he realizes is that my heart is completely steeled to shit like this. I've been dealing with sociopathic, sadistic, sex pest trannies for 10 years now. And this kind of shit happens all the fucking time, where people go after people like Elliot realize that I'm not going to back down to them, and that I have tens of thousands of people backing me up. And instead of going after me, they go after either somebody in my family, they go after somebody that I know, go after a friend, that kind of shit, go after service providers, the kind of cowardly tactics that somebody like Elliot is used to, because he's somebody who is, he's chopped off his penis, and he's a sadomasochist, as he admits he's into BDSM. He's a masochist and a sadistic person. And so when he goes after people, he's not trying to actually remedy any kind of problem insofar as he is trying to cause as much damage as possible. And because he doesn't have a penis, he can't come. So he's not able to ejaculate or feel sexual pleasure. So his roundabout way of experiencing euphoria that normal people experience through sex and intimacy is instead felt by trying to do shit like this. So I'm sure he's found it very gratifying. I'm sure he probably even finds it gratifying in a sexual way to try and push people around like this, but I'm used to it. And my core objective remains the same. We are going to restore freedom to the internet in the United States, the only country that matters as far as that is concerned. And we are going to completely and totally eradicate people like Liz Fong Jones from any positions of power across the United States, public or private, for the remainder of our natural lives. That is the only possible next step. So the lesson is that we're not going to be pushed around. If push comes to shove, we can conjure $150,000 out of our fucking asses. I don't ask for much, but when I do ask for stuff, people will bend over backwards to give it to me. So I hope that your piece of paper from a random chink was worth it, Elliot, because that's probably the easiest win that you're ever going to get. Next, chat. Andrew Dotson. Andrew Dotson, a comic artist who disappeared for years and years and years because everybody hated him and made fun of him continuously. Decided to post on Bluesky. Now, there is some contention if this is the real Andrew Dotson comics, but he teased. Actually, there was, before this even, I showed this on stream, he teased that there was, it was like a post on 4chan with his hat or something, his iconic hat, because he was completely bald, so he wore a fedora. He posted on Bluesky. Now, due to a previous traumatic incident, I will not be revealing any photo of myself to the public, but those who believe this is simply a troll account, I would like to lay those rumors to rest. This is the real me, Andrew Dotson. And then it says, personal art will return as well after March 28th. Then many people gathered around this and posted such imagery, hoping that the return of the Andrew Dotson was imminent before us. A classic lolcow. Andrew Dotson is a lolcow from before the Kiwi Farms. This guy is vintage. His comic series was, I think I even did a stream on him. I'm not sure. His comic, I think I did, because I think I remember showing you guys Sins of a Complacent Artist. Which is actually, oh my god, give me a second. Let me show you this real quick. If I didn't do a stream on Andrew Dotson, if you go to kiwifarms.st/archive and you go to the folder for Andrew Dotson, you'll get a list of videos by Forever Pandering. You may know who Forever Pandering is. That is the old... before he became a musician, he was a guy that did troll videos, like Medicare-esque, like lolcow videos, like way before, like even before the Kiwi Farms, I want to say. And then he became, he still uses a panda avatar. I forget his name though. He did songs like Crazy Girls and I didn't do a Dobson stream. I did, yeah, the song about Andy Worski. And like Imminent Territory or something. What the fuck is his name? 100% didn't do a Dobson stream. Ken Ashcorp, that's it. Ken Ashcorp, before he was the panda artist who complained about how he had a fucked up face, like Russell Greer. Probably shouldn't say that, but he does have some kind of like facial paralysis thing. So he used like a panda avatar to hide that. And it was like a woman panda. So everyone was like, why are you like a tranny panda? And he's like, stop making fun of my face, which is not like an appropriate response. But before he was Ken Ashcorp, the musician, doing Andy Worski songs, he was like really involved in lolcow stuff, and did a series of videos about Andrew Dotson. And let's see. Is this... Oh, Sins of a Complacent Artist. This one right here. There's 2 parts to it. See if this actually loads. I'll just play like a second.
Do you remember when Andrew Dotson was good? I don't, and I've known him for 6 years.
He made a song or a comic series called So You Want to Be a Cartoonist, where Andrew Dotson criticized other people's cartoons. And to give some context, at this point in time, Andrew Dotson, or cartoons were like this huge medium, like Penny Arcade, like you guys know the Penny Arcade Expo that had been around for like 10 years. That started because of Penny Arcade, which was a comic. So it became a comic into this huge thing called PAX. To give you an idea of how big web comics were, like in the 2000s, early 2010s, Andrew Dotson was like trying to be like a life coach to people wanting to be a cartoonist at that time, because it was just such a big market, this like really heavily saturated market full of really big earners like Penny Arcade. And he tried to like coach people on how to make cartoons. But the issue is that Andrew Dotson is like fundamentally not a good artist. And the thread, which is super long, because back in the day he was the hot shit, everybody who drew would take pot shots at Andrew Dotson, because he was trying to do this. How do you do art while being a really terrible artist who made really insipid, uninspired cartoons? And then eventually his comic devolved from how to be a cartoonist into just like this blue bear, where like this blue furry persona, where he switched his avatar from himself, because it didn't look like him at all, into the blue bear, which also didn't look like him at all, but at least had the excuse of being a bear and not a human being. So he just like lost it over time, and then eventually just disappeared. He gave up completely. So when this came back, the hat came back, everybody was like, holy fuck, this guy who's vintage OG, mint condition lolcow, is going to come out and is going to be a retard again when people needed him the most, when we needed more dipshit lefty artists on the internet making asinine comments about Trump. Finally, Andrew Dotson, 21st century, second decade of the 21st, third decade actually of the 21st century, coming back to give us what we need. And then he posted like one comic, just about how he's back. And this immediately raised suspicions that it was a fake, that he was photoshopping in together old comics or using AI or something, because the original Dotson, number one, his art was better. I can forgive that. I can say like, well, you know, he hasn't done it in like 6+ years, so maybe his art's just worse. But the fact that he's not using handwriting anymore, the handwriting is something that AI can't replicate, because if you ever tried to do writing with AI, it's terrible. And it would be very, very, very difficult to do like a hostage letter using old comics. So the fact that there was no handwriting made a lot of people believe that it was fake. Because like in a real Dotson would have no issue just using his handwriting. He also published this, which is just horrific, but it does look a lot like Andrew Dobson's art. His art is really bad. In fact, I think if we go back to this, oh, there's a song actually. Oh, this is it. This is so like formative in my brain as like classic content that really was really special to me when the forum started. Let me let it preload here. So this is another piece of art that he did, but he traced. So this is Ken Ashcorp absolutely fucking mogging him. You ready?
Ndrew Dotson, professional artist, traces pictures of Big Ben, goes to sell them at conventions. 5 minutes in Photoshop, I hope you die on your way to MCM. On your way to MCM.
This is literally perfect content. I would give that a 10 out of 10. That's shit. That the fucking vibe is on point. The music's on point. The video. He's like recording himself with OBS, clicking the hide show button for the layer, and in like the beat. It's just like that is absolutely fucking perfect. I love it. So let's give you an example. That's his art. That's what it looks like when he draws like one of these things that he tries to sell prints of. And that's the one that he did for Steven Universe, I think is what this is. The Crystal People. So it looks bad. It looks worse than before, but again, he's been away for a while. But many people suspected that this was fake as well. And then immediately after this, he of course gave up. He says, I can't handle this anymore. I spent 5 years in therapy just to be back to square one. I'm done. This wasn't worth it. And so goes possibly fake Andrew Dotson. Gone forever. Like tears in the rain. Next, here's a picture of Yeezy in a swastika shirt. I gotta say, it really does make you stand out. He's just standing there. He's so fucked, man. He's just standing there like a zombie. Shit, man. He be up in that Africa corpse and shit, motherfucker. Shout out to our Yeezy. I'm surprised they even managed to get one of those fucking shirts printed for people. Speaking of disgusting displays of horrific anti-Semitism, Hasan Piker. Now, Hasan Piker has been really pushing the boundaries of what Twitch is allowed to do. In no small part because Twitch's CEO, I think his name is Dan Clancy, is absolutely obsessed with this Turkish penis. He cannot get enough Turkish penis in him. He loves it. Everything that Hasan does is A-okay. Don't worry about it. People have been permanently banned from Twitch for much, much less. But I'm assuming that Dan Clancy just really fucking hates Israel. And he thinks that anybody that supports Israel or doesn't support Israel is good. Everybody who supports Israel is bad. So virulent anti-Semitism from Dan Clancy, CEO of Twitch. Hasan made another oopsie. He said that... how the fuck did I forget his name? It's like Tim Scott. No, Tim Scott's the other one. What the fuck is this? Scott... Oh my god, that's so embarrassing. I know who this guy is. Is it Tim Scott? Are they both Tim Scott? No, Tim Scott is from South Carolina. Who's the Scott from? He's like the governor of fucking Florida. I'm so embarrassed. I know who this guy is. I've known him since before I even had like a podcast or a website, because he was the CEO of Healthcare America. Rick Scott, Jesus. Okay, here's a thing that I've talked about before. It's a fact that I've been aware of for a long time because I'm familiar with Healthcare America. In the 1990s, Rick Scott was the CEO of HCA, the largest company owning private hospitals in the United States of America. And what Rick Scott did is he oversaw and perpetrated an immense fraud against Medicare Medicaid, where he ordered that their hospitals bill Medicare Medicaid more money for those patients because the government basically never defaults. So it used to be back in the day that people paid a reasonable amount for healthcare, but Rick Scott got really had a really funny idea where he decided that he would just bill the American government twice as much for any Medicare Medicaid patients. Medicare Medicaid sued over this, and Rick Scott was removed as CEO. Now, Healthcare America and all health providers in the United States charge twice as much anyways. So what happened was that they used to just swindle the government for taxpayer dollars. Now they swindle everybody. And if you go bankrupt, they don't give a fuck because Medicare Medicaid will just pay out. So what the government was really upset about was that they were getting paid, charging extra for them because they would never default on the bill. But the solution to this that the hospitals came up with was that they would just charge everybody way more, and the government can't complain because they are paying the fair market value of those things that they set the prices for. So just completely fucked over all of Medicare, and then after they got sued, they fucked over the entire United States. So if you want to know why our healthcare is so expensive, it's because HCA fucked you bloody and dead. And then Rick Scott, after being freshly let off from CEO of Healthcare America, ran for Senate in Florida. I can't remember if he was a senator first or a governor first, but he's both. I'm pretty sure he used to be a senator in Florida, and I think he was a governor of Florida as well. So he immediately went from defrauding the fuck out of the government to defrauding everybody in the United States to running for Senate and governor in Florida, winning both of them and just making so much money you can't even possibly imagine it. So Hasan Piker said he made the audacious claim that if you're going to start shooting healthcare CEOs, you should start with Rick Scott because of the healthcare debacle, which, to be fair to Hasan, knowing about the HCA Medicare fraud shit is like actually learned knowledge from a bygone era. So that's a little bit impressive that he even knows about that. But that is a very audacious claim to make about a former politician, one of the richest men in the United States. So of course, Dan Clancy took immediate action to remedy the situation by banning Hasan Piker from Twitch for 3 days. This, of course, would seriously disrupt Hasan Piker more than you think. You think 3 days, that's not that much for calling for the death of like a U.S. politician. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. So, and it was a really big deal for Hasan because he was set to cover some fucking bullshit that was going to make him a lot of money. So he'd have to miss out on covering that big event. Except that Dan Clancy actually lifted the ban after 1 day so he could stream the thing and make all the money. So he didn't even get like a 24-hour ban for saying that we should kill politicians in the United States, which, I mean, you know, if that's the way the pendulum wants to swing, who am I? I'm just a precarious observer of these things. I have no control or influence over the world around me. If the pendulum wants to swing in this stochastic terrorist direction, I am but a mere ant looking up at things I don't understand, chat. Just too far out of my realm of comprehension. Got unbanned after 1 day, 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Very, very long ban there. And I have another video. This is a stream full of video content. I love video content. It means I can go to the bathroom, chat. I have watched this, so I'm not going to miss out on anything. I want to apologize in advance, by the way, to my live audience, that this video is disgusting. Not because of anything that's said or shown. there's something really, really wrong with H3's body. He is like burping and gasping for air, coughing up phlegm, like right into the microphone this entire time. And I don't know if that's like if he's on those GPL1 weight loss drugs and now he has like digestive issues, or I don't know what the fuck is wrong with him. So this video is really gross. If you're listening to the podcast feed, you may not hear it because my post-processing tends to remove a lot of sounds that it considers annoying. So if I ever have like a smoke detector chirp in my videos that I'm showing, it usually strips those out. And I think it does a good job of getting out mouth noises. So let's listen to H3 real quick. I apologize if you are hearing things you don't want to hear, but like, I mean, he's eating on the set. And that's probably why he's got indigestion. He's like eating. People who eat while they stream are like the most perplexing. Can you not go 2 or 3 hours without fucking eating? I eat like an hour before the stream. I had a tin of sardine fillets and olive oil. They're very good. And then that's it. That's all I had today. And I'll eat after my stream. I don't know why people have to eat on stream. It's really annoying. Anyways, let's see what H3 has to say today.
What a fucking asshole for putting you in that position, Olivia. You're friends with him. And you don't have to say anything, but like, what a fucking piece of shit. What a bad friend to put you in that position just for some fucking clout. And then it gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit, okay? Olivia did not do anything. And by the way, we were all friends with Adam for a long time until he decided that, like, he could get some clout by being a total fucking psychopath and participate in snark. Like, what a shitty friend. What a little freak, dude. It's just pathetic. So, yeah, he's accused me of leaving pills on the floor. And, yeah, so I'm feeling at a point to defend myself against... Anyway, this guy was saying shit like that Hila's a Nazi, that she kills kids, that she went on, like... She's like a IDF baby killer, all this types of shit. And that's showing up right up on us Nisa's and Idubbz feed. My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered for saying one goddamn fucking thing in our defense. Like, actually, Hila's not a baby killer. Actually, accusing Ethan of killing his dog is maybe too far because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group that anybody who says any fucking thing, they will attempt to ruin their lives. And once again, I'm the crazy one. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people harassing me and everyone in my life. It's that people outside of this group, journalists, creators, are actively participating in this gaslighting to make it seem like I'm fucking crazy. Like, dude, I probably done and stood by Idubbz and Anissa more than anybody. I've stood by them when all the internet hated them because I love those guys. I vouched for their character, and I stood by them 100%. And listen, I'm not saying that they're not the good, nice, fine people that I thought they were, but I'll say this: I don't think they're fucking any friends of mine. That's what I'll say at this moment. And certainly, I don't think they're any fucking friends of mine based on the text conversation I had with them too before I even talked about it. So I have nothing. Like, I don't need any fucking halfway friends, man. That's not what I need. How could you not say something when this is like, imagine like one of you guys is like, Hasan actually wants to go to Gaza so he can strangle Israeli babies. Or some shit like that. I'd be like, you imagine me not saying something. Hasan actually killed his fucking dog. You think that I would let that slide as much as I hate Hasan? You don't think I would say something? Somehow it's like admirable right now to just be like, yeah, that's true. I refuse to acknowledge any common human decency at all. Ethan is the worst person that ever lived. He is evil in every conceivable way, and we must destroy him. Why? I really don't know. I really don't.
Okay. Ethan is recognizing his position in the world as the young people are becoming virulently anti-Semitic. What's funny, to encapsulate the point of contention here, is that Ethan Klein is very upset that Idubbz and Aniza are associated with people who are very anti-Israel and very anti-him. And that might sound conceited, but there is some context to this where after Aniza and Idubbz started like really ruining their lives together and tanking everything Idubbz had built and started just being the giant biggest pussies that have ever fucking lived, publicly humiliating themselves, H3 defended him quite a bit. He like really stuck his neck out for Idubbz. Said that a lot of what Aniza wasn't like a negative influence. This was really Idubbz trying to make a heel turn, trying to be like a good person or whatever. And to reward him for this, Idubbz has basically sucked up to like the Hasan sector, because Hasan, I think, is like an amateur boxer. So he's trying to get like Hasan's people all hyped up for Creator Clash. And he sees that as his redemption, is having a really successful Creator Clash with lots of like Hasan people. And then, of course, all of Hasan's people and all the money that they have will watch his show. And that's it. So Idubbz has made like this really like selfish decision to just allow Ethan Klein to be called a Jewish baby killer by the people that he's sucking up to, because he's trying to make money and he's trying to redeem himself. So in that way, I actually kind of feel bad for H3, because he really did stick his neck out for Idubbz, and then he just gets to eat shit for it. I also brought up in the thread how it feels like he's really tweaking, like there's something wrong. And the consensus was from other people that, if you don't know, H3 has Tourette syndrome. He has real Tourette syndrome, and it manifests in weird tics. His like eyebrows wiggle weird. He like closes one eye and makes like a twitchy face. And he just does that in general, like normally, as he's like talking. But when he gets worked up on something, when he's like actually emotionally compromised, he has the absolute worst poker face that has ever existed. And apparently starts flailing about. People said that during the beginning of the stream, he was like normal H3, and then by this point, he was like a mess. So there was some speculation on if it's drugs or if it's like his Tourette's acting up because he was like really upset thinking about Idubbz fucking with him. So I'll leave it up to you to decide if he's on drugs or not. The response from Idubbz was, of course, to show H3 that he can give himself the good self-suck. He has a picture of a like AI-generated duck with, imagine hitting on me in my room doing this, and I'm in my room doing this, and then here he is practicing the self-suck, getting really close. I don't know if he'll have the penis to actually accomplish this, but he's trying his best. He is trying his best. So that was Idubbz's response to this. And then H3 started beefing with this guy called Froggy Tonic, which, from my understanding, is not Froggy Fresh, who is another character in the Idubbz and Aniza Creator Clash saga. This is like from my understanding, it is a Hasan Piker mega simp, and this guy has really pissed off H3. Froggy Tonic says, just learned 2 years before Ethan's dog's death, some H3 fans voiced concerns for his chronic vomiting, pointing to kidney failure, got shunned by other fans. Ethan declined the advice, stayed the course, feeding him cheese as treats. Fast forward, dog dies of kidney failure at 6 years old for a breed that has a lifespan of 13 years old. H3 refutes this, says they took the dog to the vet multiple times to get him checked out, and it wasn't until he insisted on getting comprehensive blood work done that they identified that he was in stage 4 renal failure, and then he died 6 months after that diagnosis. So he was really upset over this because he loved the dog. So in the video, what he's talking about with the dog was this. These are their messages after this started. Aniza says, I'm collecting all the altered photos of JD Vance like Pokemon cards. Me too. Creator Clash says, which is their brand account, you're going to wish you never stepped into the ring with me. And then there's like a video, like a work video. I forget what you call it. What's the thing that Ethan Ralph does when he's trying to like rile himself up? He does a It's not a work. That's the name of like the story in the fighting. I'm gonna a promo. They're cutting a promo. They're cutting a promo where the boxers are like, "Look, I'm taking this seriously, and you're going down, Buster." Aniza decides to hype up this hype promo by going, "Let's go, nice guys," which is not very hype. He just says, "I'll move in with you. Let's split it 50-50. Idubbz says, "Whose bright idea was it to say they're nice guys? They are killers who hate each other." So even Idubbz recognizes that this promo about nice guys fighting is actually really fucking retarded. And when you're cutting a promo, you should probably want some kind of passion, some kind of anger, relatable human emotions that revolve around fighting. So that's pretty embarrassing for them. There is... Aniza made some salads. I think it has some halloumi, actually. I could eat the fuck out of some halloumi right now. Froggy Tonic responds to this with some bullshit. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know why H3 is making him important. I'm not trashing the dog. I have defended Hila on every point you have mentioned as far as October 2024. I beefed with my own people again and again over you. That's the level of charitability. Just look at yourself. Listen to your words. You are ill. And then Aniza decided the best way to handle this conflict is to get more tattoos. She says, very excited to be heading to LA to see friends and get a tattoo. I need a mini vacation from work so bad. So she has decided that she can't handle the stress and is going to punish herself in the best way she knows how by getting more fucking disaster pinned on her. Then finally, this is effectively the closest thing to a real response to H3 that she posted. I don't want to know people like that anymore, as if there was an obligation, as if I owed you something. So, no, even though you defended us, even though you tried to salvage our careers, I don't owe you anything, H3. Fuck you, you long-nosed dog killer, perhaps. Perhaps will be the next word. And that's, H3 News, a creator clash going well. I think that someone posted their GoFundMe and they've raised like $24,000 out of like 1 million goal. I think is what's going on with that. So, this is what their actual fans say. Apparently, let's see. Is this H3's subreddit? Yes, it is. Okay, so this is going to be the pro people. Ethan and Hila weren't obligated to defend Ian and Aniza from incel-coded Ian got cucked by a thought campaign a few years ago. I mean, that's not really incel-coded. That's just kind of obvious. But they went out of their way to do it anyways, despite knowing it would bring them more backlash. Wolfman says, that's what's being a friend, or that's called being a friend, but I guess being loyal and compassionate towards your friends is an unacceptable obligation now. Yeah, it's such an entitled response. Actual friends do owe their friends stuff, loyalty, a shoulder to cry on, an ear to listen to, etc. I would hate to be friends with someone who didn't choose to do those friend things. It makes Ian's reputation worse. Probably. I'll cut it there. Okay. That is our general lolcow shit. This is more like sector bullshit. So this is, I'll play like a minute of this. This is Ice Poseiden's stream. He went to Japan to see Johnny Somali, who was being prosecuted in Japan, and he went to go see the trial. Ice Poseiden did. So he was doing some Japan live streaming, which, by the way, in real life streaming is not like a thing in Japan. They don't really like that. I think I've watched a few videos of like, there's this guy in Japan and he does like an ASMR video series where it's not like real ASMR. He just has like a chest camera and he walks around in public during rainy days and stuff. And it's, what'd I do? I thought it was in Japan. Why is Ice Poseiden in Japan then? I thought he had caught more charges in Japan. Like they had kicked him out of South Korea and now he was facing charges in Japan. Why is Ice Poseiden in Japan then? Because he's there for Johnny Somali apparently. They just went from Okinawa to Miyazaki. Okay. So he's just in the area and decided to take a trip to Okinawa. And it was on a ferry. He hasn't left South Korea? You're full of shit. I have a fucking video loaded up. This is fucking Japan, bro. Look at this. These moon runes, these are fucking Japanese. I recognize them. The big tell, if you're ever trying to figure out the difference between moon rune languages, let me show you. This is the easiest tell for Chinese versus Japanese. This symbol right here is possessive. It's effectively like an apostrophe S in English, and it's regular Chinese characters are very strict, straight lines, and this very curvy thing that is extremely common in Japanese because it's used anytime there's any kind of possessive anything is very obviously not Chinese. So I can look at this video and I can show you the fucking no, which means that this is fucking Japanese and this is not Korean. I can tell you this with 100% certainty. So I don't know, chat. That's also Japanese back there. I don't know. You fucking tell me why this shit's in Japanese and not Korean when Ice Poseidon is supposedly in Korea, okay?
Hello. Yeah, we are from Japan Coast Guard. Okay.
I'm sorry. What Coast Guard? What Coast Guard? Did he say Korean? Oh, hello, sorry. I am from South Korean Coast. No, I don't think he said that, chat. I think you're all fucking retarded.
Yeah, you pay for first class.
Okay, so can you help us?
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Yeah, we are from Japan Coast Guard. Okay. And I'm a director of Coast Guard and Rescue Department. Okay.
But he's in there because of Johnny Somali. I think. Is he not there because whatever, I don't give a fuck. Here's him getting booted off a ferry in Japan.
And unfortunately, even though you have already bought this ferry ticket, you cannot get on this ferry today. Okay. Because the ferry owner decided that they refused.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So we get a refund?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. So we're getting off the boat.
Yeah, please.
Sure.
Please.
Because they acknowledge that you have already done a lot of troublesome activities in Japan in a lot of places.
Like what?
Like in Shinkansen and in
Desktop man couldn't even acquire a key.
I just got here 3 days.
Dude, that's so annoying. Imagine being this police officer trying to get these retards off this boat, and you have to listen to text-to-speech on the fucking vest. That's just... I don't know how this is not a death penalty thing. If this Japanese man took out his service pistol, do they get guns in Japan as police? Hold up. I'm curious now. Japanese Coast Guard service pistol. They use the Smith & Wesson Tanaka M360J Sakura and the Nambu M60. I've never even heard of these. It's like a revolver. The Smith & Wesson is just like a regular revolver. What the fuck is a Nambu M60? It's a revolver. Wow, that's old school. The Coast Guard in Japan just gets 6-shot revolvers. So they got to make those bullets count. If you're going to shoot Ice Poseidon in the fucking head, you got to make sure you got 6 shots there. If he's brought his backup, his streaming gang, you got to really, really aim. Interesting. Those are World War II revolvers? What? In 2018, Japan Coast Guards used Smith & Wesson's third-generation metal pistols at the Yokohama shooting competition. Okay, hold on. Let's look at the new Nambu. 1960 to present. It may be a World War II design, but they've kept them in use until now because it still says that they're used by the Japanese Navy to this day. So this man has on him a new Nambu M60 revolver made in Japan that can fire Nipponese lead into Ice Poseidon's head for making me listen to this text-to-speech chat.
Maybe you are friends.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, it's not true. We didn't do anything.
What did we do?
It sounds like a fake report because we're live streaming. So viewer say fake stuff. Call.
But you have distributed your live action, right? In now.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, we're live.
And many people have watched your troublesome activities.
No trouble.
The ferry owner.
Yeah, he got lied to. Fake.
Right.
Somebody.
The audacity to sit there and argue, actually, no, I'm not causing any problems while live streaming this guy. Japanese people do not like to be live streamed without their consent. And he's just going to like audaciously lie to his fucking face. I hate Ice Poseidon. What a piece of shit. Yeah, stop arguing. He's going to argue with this guy for 4 fucking minutes. I can't even stand this, to be honest with you.
now.
Yeah.
The ferry owner.
Yeah, he got lied to. Fake.
Right, we
Somebody call.
But he wants you to fuck off, and that's his right, bro.
Be in jail if we did something.
Yeah,
wrong?
we would be.
in prison if we wrote off.
Yeah, no troublesome activities.
So we didn't break. I mean, we'll leave. I mean, we'll.
Oh yeah, I mean we'll leave. Whatever.
We didn't
But
do anything.
I know. But unfortunately, today they already decided to refuse your voting, and they can refund.
yeah, that's fine.
So sorry for that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Please get off the boat.
Please get off the boat.
Walk us through, like.
Well,
This way.
well, can we get our stuff?
This way. And please
Well, can we get our stuff?
this way. And please call your friends, old friends,
Everybody?
everybody.
Okay, there's a lot of us.
Maybe nine people, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab
I can't believe people watch this. Like, how many people are watching this live? Look how fast this
my
chat.
bags. Grab my bags. Okay.
Would I get a chat like this? If I broke out like a brand new Samsung and I went to like Japan and just walked around, would I get like 10 million people spamming fucking kick emojis at me? Is that what would... Yes? You think so? You think I would get 10 million viewers? Okay.
Okay, sure.
Oh, excuse me.
Thank you. Thank you for your understanding.
Okay, did you tell them that it's fake? Like,
Yeah,
call?
they said because of things on YouTube and whatnot, we're not going to win this battle.
Yeah, we're not
The
gonna
poster
win.
is here.
No, I know. I just want you guys to know that we haven't done anything wrong.
俺は別になんか悪いことはしてないんだけど。
I know.
That guy sounds very natural as a speaker. That old man? He must be really fluent. He doesn't sound like he has an accent at all.
まあ一応ね、
It's just
もう会社としての
You know what's funny is that I've heard if you speak multiple languages, and I would never know this because I only speak American poorly, but I've been told that if you speak multiple languages, you have an entirely different voice in each language. Like you sound completely different in between them.
イメージを守らないといけないんじゃないですか。これを理解してますよ。
Thank you so much.
yeah, we're just like kind
It's
of
just fucking dumb.
we're just popular and there's some trolls, you know. You
なん
understand?
かまあインターネットだからね、アンチが多いし、でその外国人は日本でどういうことができるか、どこまで権利があるかとか、そういう話になっちゃうんだからだから。
He's still white because he speaks with his hands. It's like a typical white. I don't think Japanese people speak with their hands. Like how their hands are folded. And this guy's going like Italian hands on this Japanese guy.
まあみんななんか完璧なわけではないけど。
Okay. How do we get a refund?
A refund.
でもさ、リスクがある程度が何も言えない。
Okay, I'm done with this. Poseiden pisses me off. He's just so not funny. I never see anything from him that's like, oh, that's actually endearing to me. Okay, so I talked about this in brief last stream. How Andrew Tate was in Florida, how there were rumors that this was being orchestrated by higher-ups in the Trump administration. Supposedly it was a temporary stay. But as soon as he got into the state of Florida, my governor, Ron DeSantis, and his attorney general immediately started looking at if they could apply long-arm sex trafficking laws against him in the United States. If you don't know, the United States and a couple other countries who are signatories of a specific convention have outlawed sex trafficking regardless of where it happens. These are long-arm statutes. So if you go to Thailand and you have sex with a child, or if you go to Brazil and you have sex with a child, or if you go to Romania and you traffic a child into Romania to pimp them out, these are crimes not only in the countries of origin, sometimes. If you go to Iraq, you can have sex with an 8-year-old legally, but even if it is legal in that country, it is not legal in the United States. And many states have mirror laws of federal statutes. So the federal government has laws against sex trafficking that occur regardless of where the sex trafficking happened. And Florida has its own mirror statute of this federal law that has very similar language where it's like, if you go out of Florida to molest a child in Brazil or Romania and you come to Florida, we can prosecute you here too. These are good things, because if not, because this is how you end child exploitation. You go after the people who produce it, and you go after the people who consume it. And if you have a sex tourist going to foreign countries to have sex with children, arresting the sex tourist ends the financial incentives for the very, very poor and dispossessed people of those countries from pimping out their own kids, which is a thing that happens, sadly. So he ends up in Florida. Immediately, my boy DeSantis, king of Florida, sets upon him the royal court, and Andrew Tate is getting search warrants issued against him in regards to a sex trafficking case. By the way, coincidentally, one of the victims in the Romania case lives in Florida. So why Andrew Tate decided to go to Florida, maybe it's just the beautiful beaches, who knows. Could also be something more nefarious. But the Kang DeSantis was not going to let that happen. So he was immediately getting shaken down by police as soon as he landed. And he's already committed to leaving. He is being driven into the Gulf of America by the King's men mere days after arriving in Florida. An absolute unmitigated, total and complete fucking W for the AG of Florida and for Ron DeSantis. And to be real, for Florida as a whole, as a collective. The Sunshine State has been unstained by a brown Mohammedan sex pest who is fucking off back to Romania. He says, it's a strange feeling to be so adored that when you go to a 2-week holiday to Miami, the entire world talks about it. It's wild. I'm going back to Romania in a few days anyways. He was supposed to leave, I want to say at the end of March. I think it was a day that ended in 3, so either the 13th or the 23rd, but he's leaving earlier than that because of DeSantis. By the way, I found this very curious. Here is Tristan Tate and Andrew Tate standing next to Roger Stone, a very, very wealthy and affluential man. Richard Grinnell secured the release of the Tates because there was no evidence against them. So now, of course, little Ron DeSantis says these U.S. citizens who have no pending charges against them are not welcome in Florida. This is an outright fucking lie, and I cannot believe how often people repeat this. They are still being prosecuted in Romania. So Roger Stone is just lying on his fucking ass, saying that there's no charges against him. He is still, that's why he has to go back to Romania, because he's being prosecuted for the same crimes in Romania. But he's just fucking lying. And then this guy, this came out in court recently. This guy killed his ex-girlfriend, and he actually raped her. He does admit that he took a crossbow, and I think this was in the UK. He took a crossbow. So really you can see how these anti-gun policies are working. This guy got a crossbow and then shot his ex-girlfriend right here, her sister and her mother, and raped her. Not necessarily in that order. He denies raping her. And he just so happened to be a really big Andrew Tate fan. So there is a material consequence to fucking idiots listening to this retard. That is when you feel so powerless and so helpless because you lost your fucking girlfriend, that you feel entitled to take a crossbow and murder her and her entire family and rape her. And I'm just sickened by people who support this to the point where I can't even fucking believe it. And maybe it's just because I feel like I'm the only person who talks about this. But somehow I find myself in agreement with Dick Masterson and Nick Rekieta. This is how down bad I am, chat. I'm trying to point out a brown Mohammedan sex trafficker who admits to having sex with 15-year-old girls in Romania as part of his pornography scheme. And nobody cares because he occasionally says, well, what about that what replacement? That what replacement? Like, what about it? It's funny, isn't it? And it's like, oh my God, brown Mohammedan rapist said things that I like. Oh my God, I love him. And it's and the only people who will object to this are retards like me and Dick Masterson and fucking Nick Rekieta. Dick Masterson says, Andrew Tate told me personally, and there is a fucking Dick show where he's interviewing Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate told me personally that he had trafficked women and defrauded men, yet you dumb roided freak. Are you dumb roided freak? He did it on my show. Fucking 15-year-olds is also illegal as a U.S. citizen no matter where you do it. That's true. And Rekieta even confirms this. Rekieta Law, who said it's legal for me to come on your grave, says, I don't think people realize that if a U.S. citizen goes to Colombia and hires a 14-year-old prostitute, they have violated American federal law. Pedotourism is not legal, thank Christ. It's so fucking bleak, Chip. It's so fucking bleak. Like, I understand that the right feels like they're underdogs and they need all the champions that they can muster into their big tent. We have a pretty fucking big tent now, and honestly, some of the clowns in our big tent are a little bit scary to the people we actually want in the big tent. The little white kids, the little white girls outside the tent do not want to come in the tent when we have this big, ugly, scary fucking clown in it, and we need to drive them out. That is my advice. It's okay to be picky. It's okay to be like, this guy is bad. We don't need him. We do not need this brown Mohammedan sex pest, sex trafficker, pornographer in our big tent. It's completely okay to say that. But for some reason, people are like, well, he talked about the JQ. Oh my God. I might have to play this. I'm in an unusual position where I try to be nice, right? Okay. This is me. I'm nice. I'm a nice guy. I think not a single person in the entire universe, including Liz Fong Jones, would disagree that I'm a nice guy. And I try to be nice to people. I realize that some people go down bad every so often, but I want to show that I know that there is a thread of dignity still left that is still humming and still vibrating and trying to action change so that the brown Mohammedan sex pests are not welcome in our big tent. And somebody on Zitter pointed this out to me and said, watch this, he's having a melty over Andrew Tate. I have showed up on stream with this guy like 2 or 3 times at this point, and we're not like friends, but I don't know. It's always nice when someone tolerates me. So I'm not trying to be mean, chat. I'm not trying to be mean. But I'm going to play this because I thought it was funny, and I find it a learning experience, chat. I find it a learning experience that it is possible to persuade people to disown brown Mohammedan sex pests, and it's possible to make the right-wing grifters realize that it is an unprofitable position to support brown Mohammedan sex pests. So I will play this only as a learning lesson and not as a personal slight towards anyone, chat. This is I Hypocrite on Zitter, who goes by LP Original LG. He does a show called The Daily Cope, I want to say, the Progressive Report, where he watches clips, and he tried to show this, but his chat was not having it. This clip is what I'm showing you.
You know, I'm looking at this chat, ZH. It says, no, you see, this cam whore kingpin has to be our figurehead. And I think I will just ban you, actually. You can go with your instincts.
He face stalks because he to give you some background, I think if you look at I Hypocrite's profile, he describes himself only as like a recovering thought addict, and that's because he ran a Facebook group where he was talking to a spicy lady who was catfishing him and drew the letters best goy on his face and sent it to her at her request, not realizing that this would be an obvious request by a fucking catfish. So he's been face locks for a while, but he started using a webcam on his streams at some point, I think.
I didn't say he has to be the figurehead. When I say shit like this, what I'm saying is Tate is doing more than you are, okay? Tate is moving the needle on certain crucial things more than you are. You're a nobody. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody cares what you think. And you can cry in the chat and you can be the most fucking based person alive. It doesn't matter. Nobody's fucking listening to you, bro. Whereas millions and millions of people are listening to Tate, and he's out here saying white nationalist talking points and JQ talking points. So that's what I like about him. But I never said he has to be the figurehead leader, Lord Supreme of all things. I don't think that about anybody. There's people who are getting shit done, and then there's people who aren't. That's all there is. There's no hierarchy in this movement. Really, like none whatsoever. It's an internet culture war. You're either doing something or you're not.
I reject that argument wholesale. Like, you know, there's more than just like a linear scale of like backwards and forwards. It is possible for someone to say some right things, but to be such an obvious detriment to the collective that it scares people off. So it might look like it's like a train that looks like it's going forward, but it's actually moving backwards and it's running over people. it's double track drifting while running over people as it goes backwards. Okay.
I was banning that guy at the exact same time as you. That's funny. I literally clicked it and it disappeared and I thought it was me.
In soil.
Not Christian. Spy v Spy. See, this is why you got banned before. Again, because you can say that. And that's your opinion, but Andrew Tate again is doing more to help white Christians than you are, and you want to be like fuck him, as if we don't need him because we have you on the case, dude.
You got me.
People fucking piss me off, man. All you do is you sit on the sidelines and you snipe at everybody who's trying to fucking work, everybody who's trying to actually do anything. It's driving me fucking crazy. Fucking peanut gallery.
Peanut emojis in chat. Do we have those? Are there peanut emojis?
Andrew Tate on Full Send podcast. You can't criticize Jews. This is the clip Nick was talking about.
This is actually.
Thank you for banning that guy. You can't even say you don't like Andrew. No, I said multiple times you're allowed to not like Andrew Tate. But if you come in here and you're just like, fuck him because he's brown and not Christian, that's really annoying.
Are those squirrel emojis?
And again, Tate is doing more for me than you are. That's the point. You're crying about people who are doing more than you are. Like, how many fucking times do I have to say it, man?
I love that anger.
How is that hard to understand? That Tate is on the Full Send podcast getting 5 million views saying you can't criticize Jews in America, and you're in the fucking live chat talking about how, it's so gay that you're not allowed to criticize Tate over here. Fuck off.
Well,
all Tate said, by the way, was that each culture has like an untouchable. Like, you can't criticize the Communist Party in China. You can't criticize Putin and the oligarchs in Russia. You can't criticize the Jews in the West. And this is not like a new observation, but it's not even particularly persuasive. Because if you try to say this, if you go up to a random person, eyes completely shut, and you say, why can't we talk about Jews in America? He'll say, well, they got holocausted, bro. They're probably really scared of being holocausted again, so they're sensitive about anti-Semitism. And that's just what they're going to say. That's not persuasive. That's not actually been moving the needle in either direction. That is, the only person who's impressed by that is people like him, who see asinine little statements like that are completely, really inoffensive in the grand scheme of things and unpersuasive to people who don't believe what you already believe. It's just a peanut thrown to you, like, hey, support me in my sex trafficking case. I'm based just like you, fellow Goyim.
I thought Tate hated Whitey at first, but that is not true. He's encouraging us to do better.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's always had like tweets that are intentionally rage baity or whatever. You know, his famous Star Wars tweet was like an example of that. But if you don't get super angry and you actually think about what he's saying, there's usually like a kernel of truth in there. Get this fucking...
Yeah. No shit. It's 2025 and you're amazed by a random Muslim talking about Jews. Yeah, bro. Is the Ayatollah of Iran going to be the next conservative hero? Can we get the fucking Ayatollah of Iran on the Joe Rogan podcast? I'm sure if you sit down the Ayatollah of Iran on Joe Rogan, you're going to win a lot of hearts and minds on the fucking JQ. What a hero. God bless the Ayatollah of Iran. Fuck off.
Here. Like, people will say shit like that, DFF Groiper, and it's like, why don't you just fuck off, dude? You know you're just going to get banned. Are you happy now? Do you feel better now that you're banned? Mental breakdown. You fucking people, man.
One streamer to another. If someone in chat is accusing you of having a mental breakdown, you don't just go, fuck you. Fucking idiots. I'm not having a fucking mental breakdown, you dumb piece of shit. Retard motherfucker.
God, just once, let me catch somebody like DFF Groiper in real life saying some shit like that to me in real life. Just once, Lord.
As if this guy meets DFF Groiper in the street. DFF Groiper. I can't even believe I'm defending someone named DFF Groiper. How the fuck is there a Nick Fuentes person named DFF Groiper? Groiper in the fucking username. That I'm like, well, he's right. Isn't it amazing that now Andrew Tate is like so disgusting, and I'm so repulsed by how many people are openly supporting him. I'm just like, Nick Fuentes wasn't that bad. The Groypers weren't really that bad. They were just jerking off to cartoons mostly. Like, come on, give me a fucking break.
Live. Okay. So any person who would like to
White power.
Yeah. Thanks for the 5. Thank you.
he would be governor of Florida.
Yeah. Anyway, you get the idea. Tate criticized Jews, and that's when they started going after him. I'm just like, I just don't even fucking care anymore. All right. You guys, fucking hell. And I know it's going to be the same thing tomorrow with the debate. I know it's going to be just an endless fucking stream of people crying to me about JF. God. All right. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
That's actually how his podcast ends, by the way. I don't know what the joke is. The Daily Cope is brought to you by Lyndon Perry, and then it ends. I don't know if that's his name or if it's like a pseudonym or whatever, but yeah, he quit after that. JF, what he was saying at the end is I think JF is doing a thing tomorrow or today, and he was going to be watching that, and it's just like, everybody's going to be, he murdered his wife. He has sex with mentally handicapped women and murdered his wife. And it's like, well, he wrote a book about how white people are genetically better and shit, and that's like really important. Like, I'm sorry, but no Frenchman going, so the revolutionary phenotype is that in every white man is the Garten Funkel, which gives us divine grace and providence over the whole world, and to sow our oats and the spuds of the earth. And no, actually, we don't need that. We don't need murderers in the big tent. The big tent can do without the fucking murderers and the fucking people having sex with retarded women. Can none of you be fucking normal? You marry somebody on your own fucking level and have kids who are going to be beneficial to society. That's it. That's literally all that's required to be conservative at this point. You can't fucking manage it. I just want to be able to process credit cards, chat. I just want to play Dota 2 and sell t-shirts, chat. Why did you make me do this? Why did you make me do this? I don't know. The only other thing, I have some shit about Nick Fuentes. Apparently, some gay DMs leaked where Jaden posted messages from Nick Fuentes saying that he felt really hurt that he was spending more time with his girlfriend than him. If you want to read that, that's in the community happenings thread. I don't know. It's hard. I should have covered Fuentes before Tate, because now that I'm thinking about Tate, it's like I don't care if Nick Fuentes is like 4 years ago he sent sappy texts to like a guy that he was trying to be friends with or whatever the fuck. This is Keith Woods, though. Apparently, he was involved in a relationship with this actually disgusting-looking woman, Anisa Maxed Thought. He got outed for that. He was a Fuentes fan, and I think he has a girlfriend. He has like a normal girlfriend that's like not a disgusting Anisa Maxed Thought. And then Keith Woods was like, you know what I need in my life? Complications. Problems, tragedy, falling outs, emotional turmoil, and really, really fake fucking lips and ugly ass tattoos. You must be at least 6 feet to enter the nth scene. I'll have you know, I'm the king of manlets. It says so right on my driver's license. Nice. Okay. Destiny. Finally, what I actually care about. Staven. What are you up to, Staven? What was you doing, Staven? Well, Staven finally lawyered up. He finally got 2 attorneys, I think, have entered an appearance in the case. However, his choice of attorney has already sparked some controversy. Let's see what his name is. Andrew B. Brettler. And there's a second one, too, but it's not in this one, I don't think. But Brettler was the one that caused some contention, because this is Andrew Brettler, Prince Andrew's Hollywood lawyer, high-priced reputational injury attorney from California, going all the way over to the Sunshine State to represent Staven in his revenge pornography case. Brettler was made well known during Me Too. He's literally a Me Too lawyer. He defends people accused of sexual misconduct, and he's not cheap. And if you're gonna fly his ass out to Florida, you're gonna be paying for a lot of fucking plane tickets. So he hired him. And this article, by the way, the BBC one, had some quotes about how Brettler was very intimidating. His tactic involved a lot of like trying to make women like squirm and crack and become hysterical on the stage to make them look unreliable. So he's known as like a bully attorney for these cases. And this, of course, upset a lot of people, even in his own community. So this is what one of the DDG posters said. So that's what he meant, but he said he's going to hire a more aggressive law firm. He told his chat when they asked it was just some firm specializing in defense instead of trying to sue the hacker. How's that case going, by the way? Kind of feels like OJ looking for the real killers. Damn, hiring the literal anti-Me Too attorney from Hollywood for a case in Florida is undeniably intentional and telling. Guess I was wrong about lawyers not approving to his refusal to settle or his unhinged statement. He's literally just trying to make Pixie actually kill herself. That's his legal strategy. He's going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to watch this shit stain try and make Pixie cry and break down in court. So DDGers are not happy about this. I think I'll skip to this real quick. He has been doing damage control in his own subreddit. Feebly B replies to Party Judge saying, Destiny's strategy for popular Democratic messaging is, and Feebly says, he has no strategy, Lamau. He openly admits it. I don't know, man. Every time someone asks him what to do, well, if your population supports fascism, what do you want me to say? He then suggests that he acts more like Bernie, but then has to edit in a addendum that says permabanned. If you're going to be working overtime banning posters on this one, Chief, the response, ironically, as feckless and powerless as the Democratic Party right now, just hide your head in the sand, shrug your shoulders, I can't do anything, and wallow in pity, hoping for some tiny opportunity in a few years maybe to get more control back. Bernie is 83 years old. He should be in a retirement home, and he's fully locked in fighting. And while you're scrolling through your Reddit, dishing out bans for people who appreciate his spirit, even if not the content of his message, you're going to live out the rest of your life and die in a fascist state, bro. Via Mankanya Hofen. Clips says, there's no way a person actually thinks this Lamau. Coppercracker says, I'm telling you, it's the same ideological capture of the communists in its own flavor. Destiny can't think anything but neoliberalism, and that's why he can't manage optics for shit, and his opinions are regularly out of touch on it. He has fought tooth and nail with chatters to defend rent-seeking behaviors when that isn't even the side economist's take on it. Then he says, edit, I was permabanned for this comment, if anyone can see this still. And then in before the lock says, oof, cringe. Surely there's a problem with a bunch of billionaires directly backing the Trump administration and having a ton of them in the cabinet. It's like having foxes in the henhouse. Total Date says, billionaires running through the government taking a sledgehammer to any and everything that checks power, prevents corruption, or has investigated them in the past. Meanwhile, Democrats are putting out memos that the court needs more billionaires and to be nicer to them. Maybe the next Democratic president will have 20 billionaires behind him to Trump's 13. We've officially entered the billionaire Olympics. And then he says, edit, I got banned for this comment. This subreddit is so cooked, Lamau. So he's going through and he's banning people who are like his fans, who take him seriously, who genuinely wish the best of him, who just want to see him get better at managing his personal life, being more reined in on hyperbolic comics, and taking a more proactive stance to what they see as the decay of the United States going on right now. And he's like, don't criticize me. You're all banned. So that's 3 of his biggest fans and who inflate the value of his subreddit. Just poof, gone. Then Destiny said something very, very familiar to those of you who are listening to the Ricada case.
Imagine right now if Nick has not done so already.
Is it just me or do law tubers have some of the worst pretrial assumptions? It's similar to how bad legal mindsets analysis of your I don't. There's a lot of things I could say. I don't know. I'll just say the analysis is very, 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 very bad, and a lot of them should know better. But I think there's probably some. There's some like you're instantly given a lot of credibility because you passed the bar, and so you can say basically anything you want, and nobody's really going to call you out on it. But yeah, there's a lot of retarded shit that gets said.
From the looks of her, Nick said there is no drama. And there's
he hasn't passed. No, I'm not talking about this guy. I'm talking about there are a couple of like internet lawyers that have talked a lot about stuff that I'm involved in. Just some of the things they say are just like fucking retarded. But
fighting. Why is she making the court
legal dick sucker? That's what Destiny needs to do if he wants to counteract. What's his face? Legal mindset. He just has to go to legal mindset. More like legal dick sucker. Well, now that's a promo. That's a promo. Someone tell the guys at Creator Clash, you want a promo? You get my boy Ethan Ralph in the squared circle. You get him out there saying the nastiest shit you can possibly fucking imagine, and you'll get some audience interaction. You'll get some people really thirsty for some blood on that mat. That was that peak Ralph. Yeah, that's right. The WWE never came close. All those people talking about, John Cena did a heel turn. Motherfucker, have you seen the Ethan Ralph promo on Legal Mindset? No, that's iconic. That was unexpected. That was trend-setting. Okay, so... Oh, I know what this is. Okay. This clip is on the site, but they link to a fucking Reddit thing for this. Or kick thing.
More political things I want to do, but I'm kind of like frozen right now while I'm waiting for all the court shit to fucking waste its time in the background, because I can't. The thing is I can't like get involved in like a major way when every new like motion is filed, whenever bullshit is filed. So I have to wait for all this bullshit to be done whenever Lauren's done jerking herself off, I guess.
So that was his big statement. He says that he wants to do things on he wants to do more. But the people suing him are jerking off. That's what this is. Don't they understand that he's a real politician who really wants to do stuff, and her just fucking around, suing him over this dumb bullshit is just holding him back, just faffing around, masturbating, while he's trying to do serious intercontinental political maneuvers. Truly tragic. His audience, of course, even actually this is in live stream fail, which has turned completely against him at this point, was very critical about this. Pipithy says, it's crazy making how he frames this stuff like it's not anything he's done, of course. It's his crazy stalker ex jerking herself off, and he'll magically be able to do normal stuff again once it's over. Nothing to do with his actions. He's just a bystander. Destiny has had so many dramas with women over the years. It's always crazy women. It just shows a pattern that he's a weirdo creep when it comes to his sex life. He basically the guy that you should keep your daughter away from. And then Destiny actually responded to this and said, or in general replied to this. I couldn't find this because I think it got downvoted so hard that he doesn't show up. But it says, crazy making, love bombing, manipulating, sociopath. Are Redditors even capable of having normal conversations anymore? LOL. Every single behavior I don't like is pathological, by the way. So this got bombed, but people replied saying, yo man, you're a weirdo. And all of that's just to record the worst fucking head I've ever seen in my life. Please, just stop committing crimes, please. And Des Diddy unban me. Great. And then finally, to top it all off, to make sure that absolutely nobody has any sympathy for him, this week, a little black boy who survived cancer because of an act that Trump had passed in his first administration called the Just Try It Act, I think is what it's called, or Right to Try. And it was a way that people were permitted to, if they were in life or death situations, to try experimental drugs before FDA approval. If they just want to try. It's up to them. Do you want to try this weird, crazy experimental drug that might just straight up fucking kill you? Because we think it might work. If you want to, Donald Trump signed a law saying that you should be able to. And as it turned out, this little black boy was able to survive cancer that was a terminal diagnosis for him by trying an experimental drug the FDA hadn't approved yet, thanks to the act. Great thing, right? Trump invited him into the White House, I think gave him like an honorary badge with like a police department. I can't remember which it was. But they gave him like a fake, like, here's your badge. Just as like a cool thing for him and his dad. And then this is Destiny's response. Difficult to know if the rabid Trump support comes from his parents indoctrinating him or the abscess that the brain cancer left behind. Hearts emojis. A literal child in a conservative black family. What an awful thing to say, honestly. I don't know. What a dickhead. It's a wonder why his own fans are just hemorrhaging out of him at this point. This, by the way, is like a Liz Fong Jones type of sadism, where it's just like, I feel powerless and I can't jerk off anymore because I've jerked off 20 times today. And I can't do the usual goon stuff I'm doing because I'm being sued for it. And I might be sued 5 times by the end of the year. So I'm just really powerless and I'm really angry about it. Let me just take it out on this random fucking person. You know, this kid that survived fucking brain cancer thanks to experimental drug? Well, he's retarded because of his cancer. Just like lashing out fucking nobody. I gotta say, I mean, has Hasan ever said anything that fucking evil about like a little kid? I don't know enough about Hasan to know that, but really, I mean, Destiny's just giving Hasan and fucking H3 a run for their money and dumb shit things they've said. Probably. Okay. Chat seems very, very ambivalent on Hasan being better than Destiny. Can't blame him. Okay, and let's see what we got here. I have something special, actually. I have 2 little itty bitty Reddit segments, and then I have a special feature that I don't usually have a slot for, but I'm just gonna wing it. I'm gonna wing it. That's how I do it. I'm doing my stream. I'm having fun. I'm in the zone. We're gonna wing it, chat. But that comes after. The winging it will come after the regular thing. Okay. Mildly infuriating from Not Creative 149 says, my mom burned all my drawings, and there's a picture of Ash outside of a house. He says, so I've been drawing and posting anime girls for a while now. My mom got mad about it. At least I still have previous photos. No drawings today, though. So very sad. I mean, anime drawings, that's kind of cringe. I mean, I would definitely do that. If I had kids that were drawing anime, sorry kids, your shit's getting fucking burned. I don't want you to grow up retarded. So let's see what he was drawing, though. Oh, it's an upskirt pencil drawing of a little anime girl. You got to make sure that you get the pantsu in it too. What is an anime drawing without a little girl's pantsus? Crazy. I'm sorry, Josh, your drawing just got destroyed. Fuck you. That's Reddit segment 1. Base Karen destroying infidelic images, saving her son from a unrighteous path. And then this guy requested this last second. On Reddit, they have changed the rules or changed their algorithms. So now you can get a warning for upvoting stuff. So here's the link for the lazy ones. Today, we are rolling out a new enforcement action across the site. Historically, the only person action for posting and violating content was the user who posted the content. The Reddit ecosystem relied on engaged users to downvote bad content, report potentially violative content. So today, users who, within a certain time frame, upload several pieces of content banned for violating our policies will begin to receive a warning. We have done this in the past for quarantine communities and found that it did help to reduce exposure to bad content, so we're experimenting with this site-wide. We will begin with users who are upvoting violent content, but we may consider expanding this in the future. In addition, while this is currently warn only, we will consider adding additional actions down the road. So Reddit is so fucking paused that if you even dare to click a button to symbolically agree with something or to promote it or engage with it in any way, you will be held liable for it and they may ban your account. We cannot get rid of Reddit fast enough. It has to just be completely fucking annihilated from the face of the fucking planet. That's it for Reddit. Now for the bonus segment, chat. JD Vance. The latest trend online must be simply devastating for JD Vance. If you have even glanced at social media in the last week, after the meeting which happened the day of, I played this during the Super Chat segment with the confrontation between JD Vance and President Volodymyr Zelensky went very sour, and many people started to make edits of him, taking his face, ballooning it up, and saying, "But you didn't say please." Criticizing JD Vance for expecting the president of Ukraine to thank the American people for their hundreds of billions of dollars of financial and material support, which, quite frankly, I even though I am very sympathetic to Ukraine, I really feel like that goes a long way. My take on the confrontation, you didn't ask, but I've lived in Ukraine, so I feel like I get asked for my opinion on this a lot. Even though my opinion is I just feel really bad for Ukrainians dying in a fucking war, and I don't think the war should have happened. It would have gone a long way from Zelensky to show up in a suit, like Trump specifically on the campaign trail said that he expected Volodymyr Zelensky to show up in a suit, which if someone is inviting you to your country to discuss what is effectively hundreds of millions of dollars of gifts, then the least you can do is wear a fucking suit. It's just like a truly vile and disgusting thing to not do that when asked. Second, I feel like you do owe taxpayers a thank you. I feel like you should be expressing your support extremely profusely at all times. If you're in his position, because his war effectively is bankrolled by the West. And if he's not thankful for it, then why the fuck would anyone even bother? My hope for the war, I believe that Zelensky is the villain. And I feel bad for the Ukrainians and the Russians who are now in a war because of Zelensky. I don't know how I feel about the whole like color revolution shit, but I didn't like Zelensky. I left Ukraine because of Zelensky. I didn't trust him, and I hope by the end of this he dies, because he has inured like billions of dollars from this war chest to buy mansions in Egypt, mansions all over the fucking world. Who knows what kind of money he has stashed everywhere. I just really hope he doesn't get away with it, and I hope he dies. Or better yet, I hope they catch him. I hope Russia catches him. That would be good. And I hope whatever is left of Ukraine is left the fuck alone. Because otherwise, the war has no winners at all. Anyways, people were making fun of JD Vance with edits. The slate completely misunderstood how much of these were actually done by right-wingers as a form of endearment. So let's take a look at some of the edits, chat. Here we have JD Vance as a lollipop munchkin. That's very cute. Another lollipop themed one where he has a little Twizzler hat. I like that one a lot. Oh, he's standing in front of the Ohio flag, chat. From what I understand, he's a hillbilly from Ohio. A whole roll of them. You got emo JD Vance. Emo JD Vance in front of a furry autism girl and the Nordic sun. JD Vance morphed into like an Alex Jones transsexual. JD Vance as a green alien. JD Vance with a pacifier. No, that's pretty inspired. I don't know what the significance of the JD Vance with the glasses on is. JD Vance is a black person. Now that's who we need, really. This is him purple. For the last time, Mr. Wonka, I did not try any experimental gum, and frankly, I find this entire line of questioning insulting. That's pretty good. JD Vance is a robot. JD Vance as the... This one's hard to top. This is my favorite so far. If I find one that's better, I'm going to put this one on top of it. JD Vance is the son from the Teletubbies. And then all the Teletubbies are really sad-looking Tim Losses. JD Vance as a super, like, Alex Jonesy green wizard. JD Vance as a bog swamp monster in the Norman invasion of England. Jimi Hendrix, JD Vance. JD Vance as a woman. It's uncomfortable, actually. JD Vance, the girl's got a like on Tinder. That's cool. JD Vance the Minions with the Trump as Igor. That is my new favorite. I like this one a lot. JD Vance as the Mog face. JD Vance as a Cyclops. JD Vance is the ones with these like super red. I don't like. Those are not appealing to me at all. The winner of this, by the way, is going to be the thumbnail for this. Oh, JD Vance as a dark elf from Morrowind. JD Vance as the orb guy. He's an orb guy in this one. Bald Vance, really creepy Vance. I don't like that at all, actually. That one looks realistic, like it's possible. I don't know what the fuck is up with the Jerry curl one. Is it like a real picture of him? Because that's terrible. JD Vance as a Nazi pig, I think is what that one's supposed to be. JD Vance playing Halo and drinking Mountain Dew. JD Vance at a really shitty strip club in the middle of nowhere. JD Vance is a Pajit. That's inspired. There's another minion one. People like making him a minion. JD Vance is Jakob. JD Vance at Auschwitz. Two different Teletubby JD Vances. The one with the Tim Wattses are obviously better. Vance as Patrick. Vance as a white Egyptian pharaoh. Vance as the Riddler. Whittle me this. I demand money and tanks, yet all the while I never say tanks. Who am I? I'm gonna solve the puzzle. I like Indian JD Vance. That's a man you can trust right there. Oh, that's the fat people from Wall-E. Garbage Pail Kids Vance. I don't know what's up with the curls though. That scares me. I don't like the curls at all. I'll go to page 5. JD Vance compared to Joshua Moon of Kiwi Farms. Not sure how I feel about that. JD Vance is a Mexican. JD Vance is someone trying to steal a gorilla couch, which I don't understand at all. JD Vance as Pixlor. That's actually really good. I don't know if he made that, but I'm gonna like this.
Well, obviously, we have a rapist in Lincoln Park.
JD Vance is a little boy in mono. JD Vance next to a fat Zelensky. See, look, it does look like Alex Jones to me. Maybe he's like a clone of Alex Jones. They couldn't put the Alex Jones into the White House, so they had to clone him first. JD Vance is the adoring fan. JD Vance says George Floyd, also with a lollipop. JD Vance with eyeliner on. Some sketches of JD Vance as a Pikachu, as a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and I don't know what that is, but it looks like one of those Russian dolls. And JD Vance, okay, last one. JD Vance as what looks like Dan Crenshaw, but is more like the eye patch guy from Metal Gear Solid. But I've never played that game, so I can't punish Vance. There you go. Okay, that's it for the JD Vance segment, the one and only. I picked, by the way, my favorite is this one. This will be the cover art for this episode. Okay, so I will do the super chats. I have a very special country song, of course. People were complaining that I play too much country music now. It's too fucking bad. I have a country song picked out that sets my mood for the whole debacles that I'm currently going through. We will see how that plays out. And I will read the super chats. Okay, so Jotch for 5533 says, looks like we'll have a bunch of spinnable XMR since the Life is Strange playthrough bounty is expiring. I have an anime recommendation for you. Pay attention to the artist involved below the video. Okay, I guess we'll watch this. I really don't want to, but I don't even know if I can play Newgrounds. Dragon Ball Z. I think I've seen this. Is this the one where he says Vegeta? Yeah, it is. I know what this is.
Darn you, caca carrot cake.
Caca carrot cake, yeah.
No real.
I have seen this. This is should I play this for like, how long is this? This is an old Oni. Okay, fine. I think chat will like it. I'll play this annoying fucking old meme.
Super Sand. What do you mean, Virginia? I'm going to fight
What are you, insane?
Yes. Prepare yourself, cabbage, because I'm going to fight you, and I'm going to kill you until you're dead. today. I am defeated. You big smelly willy.
That's what you get for acting to Mickey, Virginia.
Defeating a sandwich only makes it tastier.
I will say this: it is the best anime that's ever been made, but that comports because it is made by the West. Thank you. IRSD's nuts for one says the elites don't want you to know this, but taxes are optional. You can just not pay them. I haven't paid anything in years. Interesting perspective. Interesting. Kurt Eichenwald, anime masturbator for 5 says, glorious Kiwi Emperor. I miss those halcyon days where we got 2 days a week. Oh, yeah, that's too fucking bad. Master Shake for 2 says, we don't need a toilet. The pile of clothes in the hallway has worked fine for us for years and it will continue to work. Don't change what is not broken, Chet. Don't change it. Jesus Christ for 2 says, come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. I've heard that before. Ballistic Characteristic for $20 says, have a nice weekend, dude. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Humble Guardsman for distance, I spent almost $50 to make you watch this stupid video. Well, bro, I don't really like watching videos because it holds up the entire fucking stream. Okay, let's see.
Our finest poet describes it as
It's just a music video, bro. Yeah, it's very creative, but that's like a 40-year-old fucking video about Half-Life, bro. Thank you. Bunker Housing for 5 says, good start song. Give us the link. Did you see Rucka's tribute song to Sargon? I did. I think I have. I think it was after the suit incident, but it's just called What Is the Black Say? Or something by Rucka. Gay store spokesman for 5 says, fuck President Nintendo. I'm trying to run a grassroots business and he's taking shit from his Bing Bing Wahoo tower. Buy one of my low-priced dildos and sit on it, pal. Finally, the money is rolling in through the gimmick accounts. I'm so happy. Thank you, President Nintendo, for spurring them back on. Good Luck 7 for 5 says, Rucka gave me and my nephews and nieces many good times. Fuck the haters. Hail the cigar. Yeah, I remember listening to them on school computers in elementary school or in middle school, I think. Long time ago. The president of Nintendo for 2 says, if you're serious about fishing, you should plant a catalpa tree on your property. They have a symbiotic relationship with caterpillars, and you can harvest as bait. Good for catfish, apparently. Thanks. I'll plant a tree, bro. Appreciate it. Good Luck 7 for 5 says, fuck die Hassas and look up Hazard word in free time, Scarface movie. I don't even know what that means, but thank you. Red Eyes Black Dragon for says, just a 2-headed kiwi, and there is a YouTube video. It's like AI generated images of Pokemon or something. I can't play YouTube videos. It doesn't let me anymore because I use a privacy browser, and YouTube is just outright blocking any and all privacy browsers that they can't track anymore. So sorry. I know what it is. I've seen this video before. It's an AI generated image of Pokemon. Thank you. Space Allen for $50 says Ham Jam. Thank you, Space Allen, very much. I appreciate it. Devious DeV for 2 says, Hitler told me I should miss work today, so I'm going back to bed. And there's a picture, and it's a propaganda poster of Hitler telling a guy that's waking up, oh, take the day off, pal. What have you got to lose? Layoffs cost lives, keep them firing. Asian Tech Support for 10 says, we must save happy little war painters rabbits from the stew pot. I don't know what that means. What rabbits? I legit don't know what that means. Sorry. Hamster for 1 says, Teddy Kaczynski, I choose you. Thank you. Steen Feeden for 1 says, the dev made OG Life is Strange dropped his absolute brimstone weeks ago and is practically bankrupting the company. Please do a stream for old time's sakes. It is Lost Records Bloom and Rage by Embark. But no, by Don't Nod. Maybe I will. How long is it? If I ever get time to stream again, I'll stream more games. Apparently like 6 hours long. Okay. Maybe I will. Oh my god, Kawaii Angel for $20 says, a Josh stream on my birthday. What a lovely gift. Happy Pizza Day, Josh. Thank you. I appreciate it, though. Pizza Day is now just a distant memory. Real Donai for 10 says, hey Josh, here's a video of a lady who catfished somebody in Pakistan, traveled there to marry the victim, got stuck there, and now demanding money. I've seen the story. It's a black woman in America. She went to Pakistan and is now demanding government money to stay. And she's like a pet locale of Pakistan because she's like this arrogant black woman that's treating Pakistan like the U.S. Thank you. Yugula Sneed for 10 says, high IQ meth head talks about the dangers of AI. Please enjoy. Oh boy. Let's see. I can't see this without being signed in on Facebook. Wait.
Thanks, Instagram. Thanks, Robot. Thanks.
It pauses if I Alt-Tab.
You think you're helping the people that are assuming that I've depressed them, but all you're doing is helping them delete me. What a vicious cycle it is, right? So, because
this is an Australian
somebody...
guy. Is this guy like an Australian locale? Am I gonna have to be like subjected to this forever now? Thank you. Sika Lothar for 5 says, off topic, most conservatives are aware about Islam. What I find alarming is the Hindu right alliance, which is a mirror image of the Islam left alliance. Hinduism is worse. I don't really give a shit. One's bad. I don't know anything about the other, and that's gay. David S877 for 25 says, pretend you have a boss. Tell us 5 things that you have accomplished in the past week. I stopped the Kiwi Farms from crashing. I yelled at my attorney to finish something. A lot of what I do is like personal stuff that I can't talk about. I did do stuff today. I went outside. I did a stream. These are always I have to prep like the day before because I do them so early now. I did my stream. That counts as one. Thank you. Belligerent Brian for 2 says, Ghost is a psyop who turns his fans trans. Type 333 to ban Jacob Jag, the Luxray Kenny, the Chris Chan of the Ghost Show. I don't know what that means. Thank you. Dragoons for 5 says, Stripe or trannies, which one has got to go? They've both got to go. Completely and totally forever. Lucifero 210 for 1 says, no, not Turk from Scrubs. Sorry, bro. He's gone. He's gone. He's now growing little girls in a laboratory experiment for some reason. Colga Dante for 20 says, fried chicken, watermelon, grape drink. These are the ingredients Professor Negonium used to create the perfect little girls, but he accidentally added 1/4 of an ingredient, crack. Should have been Fent, bro. Fent is the new crack. We don't talk about crack anymore. Thank you. Sneedo for 1 says, Disney kids tuned out, Cartoon Network kids became chuds, and Nickelodeon kids became normie. Banana Plugs for 1 says, happy pizza day, Josh. You're my favorite non-Slav always. Kids have a foot and mouth disease called Boston virus here, so my weekend is going to suck. Yeah, that sounds like a fucking nightmare. Sika Lothar for 5 says, so general consensus is everyone likes the original Powerpuff cartoon with prepubescent girls and hate the remake with grown women. Am I getting this right? Yeah, because we watched it as children, and now for whatever reason a bunch of grown adults took an old cartoon about children for children and made it into a weird race-bent show about like alcoholism. That's pretty fucking cringe. You know, kids are allowed to have things that are good. Not everything made for kids has to be complete shit. Banana Plugs for 1 says, do you notice that Turk is playing the PPG professor? He really fell down in life after being kicked, losing his surgeon position and Sacred Heart Hospital. Funny. Lucifero 210 for 1 says, as a PPG and Scrubs fan, I'm actually pissed off. Fox CW, they ruined everything. Everything that you know and love will be ruined. That's part of the liquidation of Americana. Sneedo for 1 says, ironically, the Powerpuff house looks like the new modern expensive house anyways. It's true. It probably wasn't very hard to find that set, but they couldn't afford the window. Belligerent Brian for 2 says, did you know that Japan also makes their own version of the Powerpuff Girls? It's called Powerpuff Girl Z. I'm not joking. It was actually all right, too. I don't watch cartoons, and I don't watch Japanese cartoons, so no, I had no idea about this. I'm glad to hear that it was okay, though. We basically did the inverse with the Power Rangers. The Power Rangers were all shot and filmed in Japan, and then the scenes where the Japanese people got out of the suits, we made them black for whatever reason, and then shot that in the US. But all the action scenes with like the actual Power Rangers was shot in Japan, and we just dubbed over them. Wow, it's Daisy for 5 says, I love the Powerpuff Girls. I honestly feel sick. The new cartoon was bad enough. The new director, an adult, retconned that the girls were in love with him. I remember this. When it happened. It was a bit of a controversy. Banana Plugs pretends says, please show some JD posting stuff. It's legit hilarious. Bam, boom, mission accomplished. I got you what you wanted. Thank you. Wow, it's Daisy. Make sure to give him more next time, because I answered your super chat before it was even posited. And wow, it's Daisy pretends says, Josh, on a lighter note, have you not seen the woolly mouse? Also, if you could bring back any animal from extinction, what would it be? None of them, because if they're extinct, they probably deserve to be extinct. Maybe the dodo, because apparently they were very tasty. But I have seen the woolly mouth. That's cute. Thank you. The Mac user 751 for 1 says, still thinking about the daily Kiwi publication, or is that dead? I would, if I get really good at like delegating stuff, but I need like a money base to hire people. If I learn how to delegate and I have actually money to delegate, I might try all sorts of weird shit. There's a lot of stuff that I would have done if I had the funds. Bucker Housing for 3 says, we'll never forgive Bill Clinton because he helped Muslims ethnically cleanse Christians from their own land to cover up sex scandal. Oh, the Yugoslav war? Yeah. He sure did. Sergeant Wizard Fist for 5 says, saw this shared on Zitter's second panel, sounds like a Ralph mail. And then there is a Twitter link. I don't know what the fuck this is. Bet you didn't think this would come back to haunt you? It's like a post of him saying, which one of these kids do you think is sexier? And then there's like, for whatever reason, a reference to the guy that makes people black or Asian. And they're in like a Nazi bunker, I guess, or a Confederate bunker, because you can't have a Nazi. Oh, he has a swastika on the back of his head, so I'm going to say they're going to crucify it. I honestly have no fucking idea what any of this is, or why Ethan Ralph is involved. I have no clue. Literally no idea what's going on. Sorry. Up to Madu for 1 says, I remember the day I started hating Muslims, I learned that they view dogs as unclean animals. Start including that in your X rants. White people will never trust someone that doesn't like dogs. Hashtag hate facts. I don't know, you'd hope raping women would be the more important thing, but maybe you're right. Mohammedine Hater for 5 says, contender for best not to be confused with Hater. And then there is Muhammad Sadiq Khan, who is a suicide bomber from Pakistan that bombed London. I don't know what this is a reference to. I apologize. Citizen Zero for 5 says, I for one am sure glad that PPP is addressing the abuse she suffers from Morsky. I don't know what that's a reference to either, but maybe I'm missing out on some drama. The president of Nintendo for 2 says, another advantage to the catalpa tree is that you can use the caterpillars to barter and circumvent the payment processors. We call them catalpa caterpillar coins in my neck of the woods. Yeah, I'm sure caterpillars are the next big thing, bro. Docs Fallon for 10 says, Matt the Internet is one of those little highlights of my week. Keep that rolling, that boulder, Sisyphus. I tried my best, bro. I tried my best. Thank you very much. Boogie 1488 for 11 says, sir, in light of recent events, you need to watch this 1-minute video from PS Prey 2017 is one of the best games ever made. Sure, I guess. If I can. I cannot. It literally just doesn't let me fucking click videos anymore. That's how much YouTube wants to make it so that you cannot fucking watch their fucking content anymore. Is that if you have a browser that's not tracking you and not selling your information, then you can't watch a YouTube video. Sorry, bro. Schratzel Null for 10 says, the doctors recently told me I had mild brain damage. Now we know why I enjoy your show so much. Well, you probably need more moderate to severe brain damage. They're letting you down easy, though. Polidante for 10 says, even if you were ashamed of your performance, Josh, it's wrong to physically threaten Shotty into deleting the video. Fuck off. Latrans writes for 1 says, hey Josh, do you have a mailing address for packages? I occasionally make merch to sell at gun shows around town. I'd like to send you some of the extras. The PO box can't receive packages. The guy collects weird shit that I specifically request, and I get it like every 6 months or so. But no, not really. Sorry. Brianna Wu Hyperbimbo for 5 says, Breebury makes a desperate plea, dropping all pretense and euphemism. It's quite a strange journey he's been on. Okay, let's see. I do like Brianna Wu suffering. Oh my god, he's begging. Please don't take vaginoplasty away from actual transsexuals. The surgery made my life immeasurably better. Anyone with any sense knows people who aren't actually trans are being medicalized because activists destroyed the safeguards for frictionless access. But if you go back 15 years to when we had those safeguards, the surgery had a very high satisfaction rate. For those of us and to men, it exponentially raises our quality of life. I've never had a single issue with the surgery. Reinstate the standards, but don't demonize this. No! Vagina wanter child. I will not stop demonizing vaginoplasty. It is merely a hole, stalker child. It is merely a hole. Great. Humble Guardsman for 1 says, when Germany collapses in the Civil War, please play Freikorps Voran on stream. Okay, maybe I will. Sneedo for 1 says, with Kanye wearing that shirt in the middle of LA, you think one of those punch Nazi fags would have shown up? Well, he has a attorney. He can afford. Chuck Poster for 1 says, no, stalker child, I must eat at all times. Very, very chubby cheesesteak pilled, I see. Oceanic Fruit for 20 says, have a delicious organic smoothie on me. You know what? Get some high quality jerky too. I think I'm going to have a protein shake. I'm not sure what I'm going to get after this. I'm so hungry though. Thank you. Goalie Dante for 10 says, Idubbz just doing his wife a favor. She's always wanted to fuck Hasan. Gross. That's really gross. Baldo Pagans for 5 says, reminder Josh was demonetized from Gumroad before Sam Hyde. Yeah, Sam Hyde's still on it, but I'm banned from Stripe, bro. There's nothing I can do about it. They don't have alternative payment systems. And the only alternative they have is PayPal, which I'm also banned from, and have been since 2013. Sneedo for 10 says, quiet Trump, a black woman is speaking. I don't know why the audio was like it. I got it off Twitter. Okay, that sounds awesome. Let's see. There's a video of black women doing black women things in front of a wax statue of Trump with sound effects from TikTok. Thank you. Brianna Wu Hyperbimbo for 5 says, update on Pimpy and Bape. Full documentary coming soon. Please support it if you can. I already did the Gumroad. What could you possibly want more than that? Roy Drones Jr. says, raising funds for my indie documentary about inbred microexotic bully industry and how not only is it closely tied to drug trafficking and other crime syndicates, it's also creating thousands of backyard Joseph Mengele-esque mad scientists greedily cloning animals for profit. It has 23,000 likes, so I guess he might get the money. Sounds like a dangerous thing. I don't really want to expose MS-13 dogs. That's not really my interest. Haramburger says, the Japanese walk the streets silently for Ambience channel I follow is Rambalalic. Check it out, chat. No nuisance, all walkies. Yeah, that's the guy that I was thinking of. The Bugs for 1 says, I saw you got mad at someone for saying the A-Log hat sticker looked like Total Biscuit logo Lamau. Are you legit fucking retarded, bro? It's a top hat. You understand that top hats are a thing, right? It's true. It is a thing. It's not a fucking symbol of Total Biscuit. It's a hat. Yeah, it's for 8. It says, cheers, my neighbor. Hope you have a good weekend. Me too. I do too. Thank you. Bunker Housing for 3 says, I would stream with you, but I'm a complete nobody, so no one would watch. Fuck the hypocrite fag. Also, hate Tate. He's bad optics and unusable for any calls. I agree. Girlfriend Haver for 10 says, went through the lengthy H3 segment with no IDF video. Josh fell off. Tate won. Gunt won. Shardy won. Rackets won. There was no Gila in that video, bro. There was no Gila in that video. I can't play it unless Gila is there. Thank you. The president of Nintendo for 2 says, I went to send you some Catabella pillar coins to get you started in the CC economy, but I waited too long and they turned them off and flew away. Here are a few boring ass dollars. I appreciate it. Unkind Naysayer for 2 says, it's weird that Canada didn't give a shit about their sovereignty before Trump was elected. Haven't seen Canada be this nationalistic ever. Well, I mean, they need some form of outlet of nationalism because their country is dead and gay and full of Indians that are just going to rape them forever. So this is like their last hurrah of like a death throw. Pimmel Festa for 2 says, wait update if you don't mind. I weighed today because I weigh after a fast day. I am down 6. Is it 16? Yeah. 16 and a half. Unkind Naysayer for 2 says, if liberals had to choose between agreeing with Trump and total extinction of all life on Earth, they'd kill us all. They need to take opposition of position from Trump no matter what. That is very true. Bish motherfucker says, you have been Vance, and there's a Catbox file. It's a picture of me photoshopped over with JD Vance's face. I'm not sure if that's really an improvement, but thank you. Tis the Happy for 10 says, got my dream job as a maintenance tech, but now I'm part of the system working on Amazon bots. Don't know how to feel. Get the guap. Get the cheddar. Don't look back. That's how it works. Thank you, and congrats. 40 Error for 5 says, if the next 9/11 could hit the QT offices, that would be great. Happy Pizza Day. I don't know what QT is. Sorry. Octavia Sales Rep for 10 says, have a great weekend. I hope so too. Thank you. Porglack for 1 says, John, you could Google a picture of a Squidbilly. I know what a Squidbilly is, bro. I watched that show too. It kind of sucked. Porglack for 1 says, I meant on Google it on Bing, the picture of a Squidbilly. Sounds like a trap, bro. I'm kind of curious now. Squidbilly. I have no idea what you're trying to get me to do. I don't see any kind of trap. So, but I'm not showing those. I don't know if there's something I'm missing. I don't trust you. Sorry. Hamburger produces, consider the following. And then he wants me to consider Crispy Legs saying, for 5, Happy Friday. Well, I consider that, and I say thank you. Appreciate it. Zuich for 1 says, Josh, it's your VPN, not your browser. Just use Brave like a normal person. Turn off your VPN while you're streaming. You won't have all these dumbass problems loading things. No, I never turn off my VPN ever for any reason. I shouldn't have to. I should not have to turn off my VPN. Go fuck yourself. Broke Back Phil for 5 says, I wonder what Ketan Ashcorp is up to now. Oh my god, I don't want to see this. This is like him doing like furry booty shit, isn't it? Oh my, I literally called it. It's literally just, you just sent me a picture of a butthole of Ken Ashcorp getting like a butthole picture. Okay. I literally called. I knew immediately it would be furry booty shit, and of course the first thing I see is a fucking asshole. Great. Cool. Koi Dante for 5 says, panel 2 of the Hell on Earth comic is a direct quote from you speaking character as Ralph at the time posted your child photos and compared them to his. Is it really? What the fuck? Which one is the sexier child? I remember that. I remember because it was a clip that yeah, Ethan Ralph found like a photo of me from like the 3rd grade or something, and then like posted that next to a picture of him from like around the same time, and he said, "Which one's the sexier looking child?" And I'm like, I was like, "What the fuck, bro?" I did not realize I had fans making comics. I'm sorry I didn't recognize my own quotes. That's cool. Suffocale for 10 says, I don't know if you remember me from New Year, but I'm the person who wanted to meet the spicy Latinx. Managed to do it. I'm in Mexico now, seriously considering moving permanently. Happy Pizza Day, by the way. Feliz Diaz, amigo. Buenos Futurado. Adios. Clay Dante professors, I forgive you for inevitably being unable to follow the 2 layers of abstraction in my last super chat. Yeah, you should have given me some context, bro. Employee Banjak for 3 says, best of luck in your quest to get smashed and slammed so you can wear a suit and sling internet freedom to Congress. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to need all the fucking luck I can get. And with that, I'm calling it there. Thank you very much for watching. As I promised, I have a perfect pitch perfect country song for the outro. I'll see you guys next week. Take it easy. Thank you very much for watching, as if I didn't say that already. And where is it? There it is. Okay, bye. Yeah, listen to the lyrics, chat. Listen to the lyrics.